I forgot to hit the unmute button. If you guys want to hit that like button over on YouTube, would appreciate it. Interact, leave a comment, help get some people in here. That would be cool. Thought you weren't doing TikTok anymore. What? Oh, you mean for the lives? Yeah. Yeah, we're making the shift over to YouTube. It's gonna be a transitionary period while I figure out the type of content and stuff. You know? I think we'll stay with the TikTok debates for now, but we're gonna move towards other content as well, so. What are you doing here? You're destined to be here. You're destined to be here. So make sure you guys are following me over on YouTube. If you guys want to go ahead and hit that like button. I don't think it went out to anybody, so I think I'm going to reset here in a second if it doesn't. So, we'll see. It's really not wanting to send it out to the For You page. We are back, though. We are live. Hopefully I don't have to reset this. We'll see in just a minute. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the show. Because you didn't vote for stupid. If you voted for Trump, you voted for stupid. Very clearly. Check the markets, my guy. If you guys are debating, go ahead and hop on in the box. There's debaters in Texas right now. I saw the live feed. This is not... The organizer did not do a very good job. That's for certain. I have to get 6 more sales by the end of the month, and now he goes live multi-X a day. Well, sorry, Jason. But at least you get content while you're trying to make your sales. So there's that. Oh my god, you're still around? You're goddamn right I am. You can call me Daddy. If you were debating, hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. I don't know if Jaden's going to join. I'm not wasting my time in queue. Queue's open, bud. Oh, man. Look, you're auto-invited. You won't join because you're scared. He's going to yell. He's going to be a yeller. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeller? What are you talking about? You all right?
Yep, gonna be a yeller. I can already tell. So what's going on? What's your take today?
I'm just saying, MAGA Trump is doing God.
What? I didn't hear.
I said MAGA is doing, Trump is doing God's work.
God's work.
Of course.
God's work. Hold on.
God.
So Jesus fed the poor. Trump's trying to cut that.
Well, I mean, God saved him from that gunshot.
God saved him from... Why did God let him get shot at? Why did God let the person behind him die?
It was a test.
It was a test. Why did God have to test with someone else's life?
God tested Abraham, didn't he?
Why didn't God at least let this know? Hold on. What did Trump have to do to be tested? Just get shot at? I don't understand what the test is.
Exactly.
What's the test?
I mean, that he didn't get shot. He didn't get killed.
How was that a test?
I mean, anyone can make that shot, but the thing is, Trump moved like at the last second.
What is that? I don't understand what the test is.
The test is test of loyalty.
Loyalty to what?
Faith.
I don't understand.
Faith in God.
Okay, he's failed. He's already said he's never asked for forgiveness for anything. He's failed every single test put upon him. He's canceled programs that aid the poor. He's canceled programs that aid the sick. He's canceled programs that aid veterans. And you're saying this is God's work? Sure. If by God's work you mean killing people and adding them to the list of heaven, sure.
Wait. So you say God wants to help veterans? Is that what you're saying? You know, the people
God
who
healed
kill people?
Did Jesus not heal the sick? So now you don't care about veterans. Now you don't care about veterans. Not every veteran killed a person. 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 Stop.
Okay, one mic is really loud and the other one is really low.
Good, I'm drowning him out.
Really loud, which one's really
chaotic. So what is the test? God shot at him? I'm confused. I don't understand what
Trump
the
was
test
just
is.
if Trump changed how he is, he would have been dead.
What is Trump doing?
He's only
Well,
gotten worse.
the only reason that Trump was in that position was because Trump is who Trump is. Trump was outside
It's
because he refused to
yeah.
pay indoor vendors. He screwed people out of money.
Oh, yeah. No, he does that a lot.
I
Yeah,
know.
very
So,
Christian
so
of him,
how
right?
is that? How God didn't lead him there? He did.
Hey, I'm not defending him on that part.
Are you fucking with me, kid?
No, I am not. I am
Yes.
not defending on the part of not paying vendors because that's pretty messed up.
Okay.
Like there is
Very
no
Do you
godly.
think that
grace on
event has made him more humanitarian?
Yes, I think he got PTSD from it.
No, I said humanitarian.
Yes, so he wants to help people who are also going to get.
Who's
How's
he
he
helped?
improved anyone's lives?
He's been helping. He's been getting rid of all the immigration, like all the immigration crime.
So
How does
again,
that-
all the immigration crime.
Yeah, like Lake and Riley and
There. So Lake and Riley was the killer was let out under the Trump administration. Oops.
no, that
Yes,
sounds
he was
like it
paroled
Biden.
in.
That sounds
He was
under Biden.
paroled in. No, under the Trump
It's
administration.
like that sounds like something Biden.
No,
What has Trump done that's helped people? I don't know what immigrants have to do with anything because MAGA commits crime at a higher rate. So why is he focused on the lowest propensity crime group in America?
The problem is when the minority do crime, it's very extreme.
It's very extreme.
What?
I don't know what does that mean?
And like very extreme, it's like
quantify that.
the-
Are you saying that they're unaliving people at twice
Very
the
extreme.
rate or in more
Really
violent
quick.
means?
Really,
yes,
just really quick.
Wrong.
Really quick.
when they do,
really quick.
do.
Really quick. The El Paso shooter.
That was the white supremacist.
What?
That was a white supremacist.
Can you name the last mass unaliving that was done by a
He
migrant?
was a right winger. Really quick. The guy that just walked into the University of Florida. Who was he?
He was a white supremacist.
Who was the guy that walked into UFC or to University of Florida?
No, I completely agree with you. I'm literally saying yes.
Right.
he was
He's a
white
Trump
supremacist.
supporter.
No, he was not.
Yes, he
Buffalo
was.
grocery store
They have
shooter?
him in a mega hat.
Oh.
They have pictures of him in a mega hat.
How's same for Thomas Matthew Crooks? The one that aimed at your president was a Trump supporter.
FSU, not University of Florida.
Yeah, he was confused, man. Like
Most Trump voters are, I know.
So hold on. So yeah, so was the Lake and Riley killer. Well, that ended that argument.
That was an immigrant. You should like.
Nah,
shouldn't
he
have
was just
been here in the first
confused. He
place.
was confused. He
That
wasn't an
should have
immigrant.
Never have. If Trump was president,
Yeah, I know. Why did he let him in?
if Libs didn't.
So what is
steal
it with the
the
MAGA?
2020
Really quick.
election,
What? So can you explain the MAGA guy shooting up FSU?
That he was a MAGA. That's a
He was
false
MAGA.
flag.
There's pictures of
It's
him
false
with a
flag,
"Make
bro.
America Great Again" hat on.
Hmm. Okay, maybe you're right. Yeah, and we don't claim him. Screw that guy.
So MAGA, just really quick. U.S. citizens commit crime at a rate higher than migrants. And you can point to a specific instance and go, look, and I could point
Lake
to a
and
bunch
Riley.
more.
Lake and Riley, bro.
What does Lake and Riley's death have to do with that person's immigration status?
I mean, it would have never happened if
That's
Democrats didn't steal
conjecture. That's
the
conjecture.
2020 election.
That's conjecture.
Trump would have won again. If
How would
would've
Trump?
won,
How
that
would
would
Trump have
never
stopped? Hold on.
happened.
How would Trump have stopped him from killing Lake and Riley?
Because he would have came down on immigrants and showed them that.
So
you
why
can't-
didn't
you
he? Why
get
did he
away
let the
with-
immigrant? Hold on. Why did he let the immigrant go that killed Lake and Riley?
He didn't let him go. Biden did.
Yes, he was paroled under the Trump administration.
Okay, that I call lies on that.
Okay, we can look it up. And then what's your
me the
argument gonna
receipts on
be?
that one. No,
And then
if you
what's
show
your
me the
argument
receipts
gonna
on
be?
that- If you show me the receipts on that,
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Show me the receipts. I will. I won't have an argument. Like I'm telling you straight up. I will be like, hey, maybe I was wrong. unless you get it from like Newsmax,
You want
then you are
Newsmax?
correct. If you get it from CNN, then I mean it's fake news.
Just give me a second. I
How
gotta
is
look through some news
Newsmax any less
articles.
biased?
Newsmax is not biased. Just telling the fact.
But you're telling me that. How do we
Just
know?
like Owen,
OAN is not biased?
it is
You
not.
telling me something's not biased makes it biased.
Really
Okay, well
quick,
then
wasn't
that's
there?
your opinion.
Okay.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna point out. I was gonna point out the people the migrants that have committed murders under the Trump administration.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't be good. That's,
Oh, he is right. 2022.
yeah,
All right,
no.
we'll give you credit on that. He was paroled in 2022.
Doesn't
Thank
excuse Molly Tippett's case. That happened under Trump.
See, and I was correct, right?
You are, but explain Molly Tippett's.
I don't know who Molly Tibbetts is, and so I can't.
Similar set of circumstance happened under Trump.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear about it, so.
Of course you didn't, because the rhetoric didn't play then. You can't say that there was open borders and illegal immigration under Trump because it doesn't play with his narrative.
Okay, I'm asking you to educate me. There we go.
Educate
I just
what?
did. Educate.
If you guys are over on
Educate
YouTube,
me.
you want to hit that like
I
button
did
and
not-
interact, would appreciate it.
I never heard. Yeah, please, guys, like the live, follow him, give him one of those cards. Do all that. This guy's all right. Even though he's a lib, he's all right.
Wait, so should we deport MAGA? Why is Donald... So I have a better question. Why is Donald Trump allowing so much red state crime in his presidency?
He's not. Well, what red state crime are you talking about? Like burning of the Teslas? Yeah, they're gonna get prosecuted.
Yeah, so why is he allowing that to happen? Well, not
He's
burning of
not.
the Teslas, but I'm just talking about murders in general.
Murders are down
Murders are... Where are you getting that data from? Because there's been no data that's been released for this
from the
year.
government.
Where's that data coming from?
Oh no, the murders have been down, but I'm gonna just guess that it's been it's gonna be even more down now that Trump is president.
Even more down now.
Even more
Based on
down
what?
now. But I just want to point out that MAGA last year said that crime was up with Biden.
Yeah, it was. Now it's gonna be down. Because,
So where's your data? How do you know it's going to be down?
it's just again, if you're gonna be tough on crime,
It's my conjecture, Tommy.
It's my conjecture, Tommy.
It's all just things I'm saying. Words.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah,
Well, it
yeah.
is. I mean, you don't have any stats, any metrics
No,
to
no,
go
no,
off
yeah,
of. It is
I
conjecture.
Yes, I agree with you on that. You are right about that.
Okay.
We will find out at the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be down.
All right. And so when we see that they're up, what's the excuse going to be?
It won't be up though.
Why won't it? I'm saying
Why,
if.
why wouldn't it?
It won't. Yeah, that's just. The
Why
thing.
wouldn't it? Listen here. Murder rates and crime rates typically go up during times of economic hardship. And right now, Donald Trump
Correct.
is self-inflicting that. And you're saying
But
that by the
Donald-
end of this, people will leave this unscathed and with a reduction in crime?
Yes, because Donald Trump is also threatening to send them to El Salvador. So,
That's not a prevention. That's not crime prevention.
I mean, it's gonna make people think twice before they.
No. When has prison ever served as a deterrence? And now you're saying it's okay that we send U.S. citizens over to prison camps, prison labor camps elsewhere?
Hey, it's not in the U.S., so technically it's legal.
Why do you want that?
It's
Yeah.
not... Well, it's... Technically, it's
how
not
is-
legal.
How is it not legal?
Because you can't send our prisoners to other country to be held in custody by them because they're owed and afforded rights in the United States.
So the only reason they sent them there was, oh, are you talking about U.S. citizens or are you talking about?
You have due process in the United States, the degree of which can depend on your immigration status. But yes, you still are owed due process in the United States. What the degree of that is depends on, again, your status.
Wait. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm reading this.
If you guys are over on TikTok, you want to double tap the screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here, would appreciate it.
Yeah, get some likes on here. He needs more likes. Get him to 10K.
And you guys can send over ass shaking corgis if you'd like to help support the channel and boost it out on the For You page.
I mean, he's woke, but he's alright.
So why is it you get to hyperfixate on a single crime that occurs and then blame the entirety of the Biden administration? That seems a bit deranged to me.
Wait, what was that again?
Well, it would be like if I took the FSU shooter and was like, well, he's MAGA, and then I applied it to MAGA, would that be unfair? Or MAGA policies?
I mean, didn't you do that like 10 minutes ago?
But wouldn't I be able to ascribe MAGA policies as why he did it? If that's your justification, if that's your logic?
I mean, what MAGA policy says you should go shoot
What MAGA?
What immigration policy says that?
You should go go pew pew whatever. I'm sorry, I forgot.
What immigration
there's-
policy has to do with Blake and Riley's death? Sammy, appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 gifted over
You
there.
would've
Sammy,
never
can we get some
gave-
dubs and drumsticks in the chat?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sammy.
It would have never happened under the Trump administration.
But it did with Molly Tibbetts in 2018.
It did not, because
It did happen in 2018 with Molly
Blake and
Tibbetts.
Riley did not happen.
Well, MAGA
Molly
shooter.
Tibbetts
Trump.
is the comparable scenario here that happened in
Who
2018.
is Molly Tibbetts? I didn't hear about
She was
her.
a 20-year-old college student.
Then
in
why
Iowa.
didn't Biden fix it?
Because he wasn't fucking president in 2018.
Oh yeah, right. You're right.
Oh my god.
No. Okay, my bad. Yeah. You're right about that.
Paige, do you have a source for that?
Yeah, no, I have to go look that up because again, if you're right, then you're right.
Can you send it
Yes.
over on?
I can't really argue it if you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Stabbed
didn't
24
know. Let me
times.
go look it up.
Did I get
Go
your
ahead.
Blue Sky message? I have not, because I'm barely on there. Interestingly enough, I did think about the app today. I was like, I don't post there that much.
I was on there earlier.
Yeah,
You're not
this is
missing
the
much.
problem: is taking incidents that happen and then ascribe, like when they say like when like a Target gets looted and burned, they're like that's the left. It's taking one thing that happens and then ascribing it to the entirety of the Republican or the Democratic or leftist wings, and it's a bit interesting because they don't hold like even when it is a universal thought among the right, like January 6th was okay, right? Then they still get mad that you're just like, yeah, you guys are just violent. They still get super mad that you just make that and point that point out.
And then downplay an excuse when it's a very clear and present example like January 6th. They'll issue
mean-
pardons, they'll say it wasn't that bad, and then gaslight and downplay it.
Well, I mean, January 6th was just patriot.
It's patriotic. It's patriotic to overthrow the government, right? With
No,
no
I
rhyme or
Hey,
reason.
guys.
disagree. They should have never gone into. If they were said not to enter, they should have never gone. I agree with
Could
that.
we get it up
They
to
shouldn't have
50K
been
likes
fucking
over
either.
on TikTok? 50K so we can get it
Please.
out to some people. And if you guys want to support, Venmo, Cash App in the bio of mine and Jaden's, you guys
Those
can send
people are
over
like-
ass shaking corgis to help us out with that gift goal because
That's
it helps you
right.
get it out on the For You page where we can get lots more
Yes.
debates and a lot more content for you guys. It makes everything way easier. And you
This
get
I'm
to
is
support the
traveling
channel.
this week.
Billy,
That's right.
what's
I'm
it called?
traveling this week.
Billy effing Ray. Yes, I do know that. Yeah. I mean, I live in Texas. I live in the farm.
What are you saying?
I was just replying to the comments. My bad.
Okay.
What's
So,
going on,
January
guys?
6th,
Actually, one of-
indefensible, right? Go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say one of the best ways to get on the For You page is to join the team. It only costs you a penny, one coin.
I already joined.
Not you.
Did you?
Oh,
Join
Did
again.
you? Are you on the team, George?
yes, I joined. Of course.
Yeah, you got to send the heart me's.
I did. I can't send another
All right.
one. You can only send one a day.
All right, all right.
All right, I'll send you a checkmate or whatever it's called. There you go. I can't
Wait,
send
is that
anything
real?
else, so-
Is that real?
the
RFK banning food dyes. I don't know why everybody's focused
Okay,
on the dumb.
RFK is an idiot. That's it.
Okay.
I can't defend him. He's an idiot.
He's going to phase out 8 artificial food dyes.
Yeah, he's.
Did you say I love my red 40 though?
I come from the healthcare industry, so it's like he's an idiot. Like just You can't defend that.
He's also
Okay.
launching a government registry to track autistic Americans.
I just want to point out
Ooh.
that
Oh my
he's.
God, do I have
I
to
just.
register now?
I just want to point out really quick that he is targeting 8 food dyes that have killed a grand
He-
total of 0 people. And this fucking
I
guy has a graveyard
Trump
dedicated to
only
measles
Trump
and COVID.
only accepted him so that his voters would come over. That's literally it. Like
Yeah, it's
You
that's
called
think
a
that
the
grift.
best
that's
thing
a
for American?
yeah that's a grift. As
yeah,
Josh
no,
said, you
that's
think that's a good thing for Americans?
that's not a good thing. Like that, I agree. That's RFK is an idiot. There you go. I never
And Trump,
voted for
by
him.
extension,
I never
isn't?
supported him. Well, Trump just used him to get his votes.
Okay, why is he not bearing
He
any
should have
burden
dropped
here?
the thing is I was hoping
Why isn't he
I
bearing the brunt of this critique?
well what I thought was that Trump once he got his votes Trump would drop him, but he didn't.
No. He said he would do
Doesn't
this.
care.
No, well it was very well the thing is Trump is about to drop Elon because Elon was getting some briefings from the Pentagon that Trump didn't know about.
I thought he
That's
knows all
not
the
true
best
either.
people.
No, it was and that's why Musk is getting dropped.
Okay, I don't
That's
see
what I
anyone
thought
who's
would
getting dropped,
happen.
but
Musk had a determined amount of
RFK.
time when he first started. It's not getting dropped because of anything. He had a determined amount of time to run Doge when he first started. That time is almost up.
Wait, when has Trump listened to the court?
Bro, can you address anything we're saying instead of just asking random questions?
Okay, no, go. Okay, no.
Okay, so he's not getting dropped for anything he's done. He had a determined amount of time set for Doge to take place, and that time is almost up. That's why he's getting dropped.
Okay.
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 Someone in the comments, since there seems to be a break here, said, "You don't support banning toxic food dyes." I would if they were toxic. I would if they were toxic, yeah.
name one that is.
I mean, the red dye, there's a little bit, but not much, not enough.
You have
There's
to,
no
like,
evidence of that.
there's no evidence. And it's an incredibly
Yeah, it's
studied.
very minuscule, like very
Well,
minuscule. It's,
if you were to have any sort of adverse reactions happens in like insane quantities that you just do not get in that small of an amount when you eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And
They would have been-
if my Flamin' Hot Cheetos change, I'm gonna lose my shit.
they would have been sued to Kingdom Come already, and they would have pulled it.
Right? There's just no evidence. There's just no evidence.
Exactly. It's just very minuscule.
Right.
My
I'd
chemistry
support getting
teacher-
rid of measles too. Rather, they're like, yeah, these dangerous food
Yeah, right.
dyes. Give me some COVID. You know what I mean? Give me some COVID.
No, my chemistry teacher said one time there are no poisonous chemicals. There's only poisonous amounts of chemicals. And that's very
Say
true.
that
That's
to,
extremely
say that to snake venom. Yeah, that is.
Well,
Just depends on how much of it you
any-
get. It's all healthy. Everything is not healthy if it's in too high of a quantity. Like, you can die from eating too many carrots. Vitamin A.
You could die from drinking too
overdose.
much water.
Right? It depends. It's just how much you eat. Right? You can die from drinking too much water. Everything has to do with moderation, and as long as you're in moderate, you're good.
Did you know carrots will actually turn you orange?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. But try yeah, just enough radium, like the one that says drop and run.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know.
Anything else you
I'm-
wanted to say?
Yeah. Anything else you got for us?
Trump is doing the best for America right now.
How?
You don't have a 401k, I see. How is he doing? How
What
is
is
he doing?
improved?
What has he done?
Have you not seen the 401 the stocks today? It's been like it's been green
Bad.
all day.
It's
Red.
down 5,000 points since he took office.
Well, I mean,
Do you know what a death cross is?
Yeah, I know exactly what a death cross is, but you have to break some
Okay.
eggs to make an omelet, bro.
All three markets
All
have
four
reached a
markets,
death.
but go
Right.
ahead.
All three markets have reached. I don't know why you keep interrupting me. All three markets have reached a death cross as of today.
No,
Like
they actually.
this is the sign of a recession. This
The
is a
thing is,
sign of
they
a
reached
depression.
that
And
like
even more so,
they reached
on
that
the
last Friday.
30th,
But go ahead.
on the 30th, which I don't know which day that is that's a Tuesday, I think. On the 30th, there will be a significant fall off in the market because of the GDP growth. It's going to decline by 2.2%. That's actually up from it was 3.6 earlier this month. So it's going to be 2.2%. Negative
Okay,
2.2%. That's going to hit the
I,
markets like a nuke.
no, on the 30th is gonna pump.
It's either 30th or 31st. I don't
What?
remember. It's not going to pump.
Gonna be green, bro.
I don't.
I can
Where?
bet you
What do
right
what do
now.
you
I'll
have
bet
to
you
look
right
at?
now.
Why would negative GDP growth cause the market to go up?
Well, you don't know how the financial system works, but yes, they'll be green.
Based
How are
on
you so sure? Okay.
Well, no, you flip this now, and then we can talk on the 31st.
Okay, based on what? What indicators?
Is there no 31st of April?
Several that
I thought
I'm
it was
not.
just 30 days in
Yeah,
April.
there's not.
I don't
there's no
remember.
third.
I don't remember.
I'm
If you
not
guys are on
paying on
YouTube,
sure.
you want to hit
September,
that like
April,
button.
June,
If
and
you guys could
November.
hit the like button over on YouTube and help support the channel,
No,
leave a
no, no,
comment,
please.
interact,
Yes,
bombard
like
it.
it. This guy's all right. You like him? He's awesome.
Send those heart me's.
Send him the heart me's. I already sent you one. Don't worry.
I got a parrot.
Okay, well, I expect to not see you back on the 1st.
We haven't seen
Well,
anyone
No,
back so
I
far.
will show up on the 31st, and we can watch it together. How
What
about that?
metrics are you using to say that it's gonna pop off?
There's several, but
Name one.
don't worry about it.
Name one.
Thing is, you
My
don't-
feelings, Josh.
yeah, my feelings, Josh.
Mm. Are you using candlesticks? What are you using?
Well, no, I'm using a tarot card.
Oh. You don't even know
I'm
what
joking.
candlesticks are, do you?
I know what candlesticks are.
Oh, okay.
The green
What are
stick,
candlesticks?
the red stick, the blue stick. No, I'm joking.
They're all in his nose.
It's just green or red. What?
What are candlesticks?
I know what candlesticks are.
Cool. Then
Stop
you should
saying
be
it
able
and
to explain
describe it.
Real easy.
It's like when you burn a candle and then
This is brilliant. You're gonna sit up here and tell us about the stock market when you don't know what candlestick charts are?
No, again,
That's
we'll watch it together on the 31st. I'm following you already.
Yeah,
gave
come
him
back
a
and tell
heart
us what
me.
candlestick charts are.
I know exactly what a candlestick chart is.
Okay.
Sounds like it. I'll see you back on the 31st.
Of course.
All right.
All
Take
right,
care.
So what?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you got more?
No, I don't. I mean, unless you have more.
No, you're
What do you
good. Go
want?
ahead.
Just why do you guys hate Trump so much? Like,
Have we
seriously,
not
what's it-
enumerated all the valid reasons as to why? Like, you've even
Can-
agreed to some of them.
can
Political
you show me
campaign
where
picks that
he
have
hurt?
undermined U.S. health. You agreed to
I mean,
that.
Well, the thing is, it's like hey, you help me out, I have to give you this.
Okay, that's bad. That is bad.
I mean, it's called the art of the deal, no?
It's still bad.
It's
We're
called
losing out.
quid
3
pro
fucking new
quo.
states announced measles cases for the first time. That's bad.
No, that again, I don't agree with the RFK, but again, if
You
You
agree
have
with
to-
Hegseth for the second time? Fucking Pete Hennessy tweeting out or putting out war plans in Signal group chats with his brother and wife?
oh, didn't he do that the second time now? Yeah. he's in
Yes.
trouble, bro.
You're
They
okay
should
with
kick
that?
him out. They should kick him out, bro. But that's not
thought
Trump
Trump
doing it
picked all the
though.
best
You guys,
He picked him, and he's
Yeah,
vouched for
well,
him.
you make mistakes. Come on, I can't
Twice?
Trump doesn't control what people do.
So he
like,
has no
can I
control
con-
over his
Can I
floozies.
control like what my people like? People are idiots sometimes.
He picked
yes,
them.
but those those idiots don't represent the White House. Exeth does.
Yeah, that is true. So yeah, I'm gonna have to half agree with you on this one because yes, Trump should have never appointed them, but he kind of did owe them.
For what?
He didn't owe them anything. He owes America, not people.
I mean, he wouldn't have won without working with them.
Anything is possible. That's a great. Anything is possible.
I've never even had Hennessy.
Me neither.
Hennessy, I don't like it. I don't know why.
Never even had it.
Never
Then
even.
again, I don't like. I was a.
I had Patron a few times.
They just say I worked as a
Expensive.
very high-end bartender where McKellen
Patron is expensive.
we sold per ounce.
It's a little expensive for the drinking I do.
It was only like $4.25 per ounce. So
I don't even drink. Here's the thing. I don't even
Patron-
drink like
Patron
that.
What?
I don't even drink like that. But if I do drink, I'm drinking.
I drink Patron. Yeah.
I'm
Patron.
drinking.
Yeah.
Sammy, again, appreciate the 5 gifted over there.
Go
Thank
with-
you, Sammy.
Go
Dark appreciate as well.
Don Julio Silver is probably better.
No.
Although Patron does
I
not
want
use
to go down to Mexico and get
pesticides
some
and
mezcal.
are pretty organic. I do not like mezcal. I don't like the smokiness. So
I just want it because it's illegal here, so I want to get some.
mezcal is
only
illegal
reason why I
here? No, it's not.
Yeah. The ones they
The
make
one
in
that
Mexico.
you want is probably illegal here.
The ones that went out of Mexico are.
Yeah.
Anyway, George.
The bootleg mezcal, yeah.
All right.
The moonshine mezcal. All right. Well, appreciate you coming in. We're going to see if we can grab a debate up in here.
Yeah, you should. I'm out.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
I got the mutant camera. Ooh, I did not mean to kick
shit.
Josh. Josh, my bad. Reinvited.
I
got the
don't know
mute.
why I don't have. Hang on, I don't have mod access.
Oh, Elysium. I think Josh has it.
Yeah, I got it.
Am I a mod on this one?
I have Miss Parker, but I don't know if they're debating. And I have Mark, who I think's debating.
I think Miss Parker's friendly. I don't know.
Hang on.
I don't know.
Let me come back.
Yeah, it says you're a moderator, so.
Yeah, the dude was making mod announcements.
I know. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, might have to give a mega moderator spot. Oh, you did pretty good.
This dude's all right for being woke.
All right.
should follow
I'm
him,
going to let
even
in
though
Miss
he's a
Parker,
leftist.
and we'll see if it's a debate. Miss Parker, hello?
Hey.
What's going on?
up?
Are you debating?
No, I'm just listening in. What y'all debating about?
Trump's ineptitude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, my opinion is I think they really voted for hate and racism. So, because he ain't did nothing else. So, that's all I can see. Prices ain't went down or I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Because they can't never name a policy. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
All right. Well, I think we have a debate in the box. I appreciate you for coming in. There's a lot of background noise, but yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, y'all got my grandkids. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
You're good.
I'm gonna put it on mute.
You're good. I got you. Appreciate you for coming in. We got Mark.
Mr. Lipton. Peach Diced Tea. What's up?
Hey, I gotta be right back. I'm sorry.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Well, we tried. If you guys are over on TikTok, want to double tap that screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Will not be live. This live will be live for till sometime tonight, and then I'll private it in case there's people that are looking for where the live is. So
Is this the show
You
for the day?
guys-
Are we doing it early today?
yeah,
Going all day
you
or
guys
what?
aren't
Okay.
touring. No, just doing it early today. I'm gonna do it till about 4.
Nope, we're not.
No, we're not. Did you see the videos on that? I kind
I've
of
been seeing
crashed
the
out.
lives on them.
Dude.
I was
I kind
watching
of
the
crashed
lives.
out yesterday about it, but you know.
Yeah.
Nah.
Jaden the model?
Yeah, I saw
Maybe.
Dan was live, and Johnny was live with it. They were showing the debates.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people there.
There
No.
was a little hustle, a little not hustle, a little tussle going on for a second there, but I don't know what was going on. Some lady started yelling and jumped up on stage. I don't know if she thought they were like picking on the guy or what, but she was like, "I'm gonna come up here and debate," and they're like, "No, ma'am, don't do that." She was insisting on coming up. Like Erica pulled her aside and was talking with her.
I guess
don't know
Charlie
what's going
Kirk
on,
won't
I have no
debate
idea.
Parker.
He won't debate anyone there.
Oh.
That's not a student.
God, he's scared.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
He backed out of it.
Scared.
Yeah,
Scared.
well,
scared,
they never agreed to
scared,
anything.
Scared.
But
That's what
also,
they
the
do is-
university had stepped in on their plans to get like a stage and a microphone and a tent and all that stuff. So most of them were just walking around and talking to people in the crowd. I think finally they got an amphitheater space with a table and microphone, but it's mostly been Parker and Dean there.
It is funny that
Sort of
Charlie
a
Kirk only
vacation.
wants to debate college students, you know.
Can they let a woman talk about abortion, please?
Can they let a real man up there to debate? You know what I'm saying? We need a man's tour. We need like, you know, well, just like a
Yeah.
masculinity tour.
We need Big
like
Joe.
Joe. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Joe.
Good trouble. Carbon.
We just debate on toxic
Jones.
masculinity,
Yeah.
you know? And then I pat me Joe and I'll do the patting on the head. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay. You'll be
Pat me on the
you'll
head, I'm
you'll
fucking biting you.
It's okay. A little ankle biters running around there. Little
Take it
ankle
easy.
biters. Yeah. All right. Do we have? I don't know what happened to the other guy. But if you're debating, go ahead down to the box. If you guys want to double tap the screen, comment, interact. We have ass shaking corgis. You guys can help boost
That's
us out on the
right.
For You page. It really didn't go out to very many people, so you know.
400.
We need a
Everyone's live right now.
masculinity thing. All these.
I thought they were gonna have a setup, like Charlie Kirk agreed to it. They were gonna have,
Nope.
you know, sit down like a round table, and I was thinking kind of like a jubilee kind of thing, almost, where the bunch of libs will sit around and yell at Charlie Kirk for an hour. That's kind of how I pictured it in my head. Instead, he just ditched him.
I really don't know what I pictured. But I'm not there.
It would have been great if Charlie Kirk showed up on my campus. Getting dogged on.
Be nice.
Dogged on. I'm
It
a
would be
student.
nice.
Hi.
Do you
Debate
think they'll
me.
go elsewhere?
Hi.
Hi. You're about to get.
Do,
You're about to get raked over the coals, man. Run it.
Do you think they'll do this again?
I think that's the plan. They're calling it a tour. I don't know that they have any other dates planned, but I don't think they should be doing this where Charlie Kirk is. I think he's very clearly going to have that audience that's looking to see him. They need to do a counter protest or a counter event and have it elsewhere where there's more spotlight on them, where there's more attention that can be derived from that, instead of having to hear Charlie Kirk's microphone blasting in the background.
Someone said that was 20 years ago. I did not go to college 20 years ago. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Jesus.
25.
God. Not that old. Salt and pepper. Ignore the gray hair. Let's debate. Ignore the gray hair. Let's do this. All right. 35 years ago.
Yeah, mine was 25 years ago, so like I don't even know what to say.
I didn't even go 15 years ago. I went after when I went on Pell Grants. So
I never went to college. I went to paramedic school for what that's for.
Did you guys ever have a
2 years.
college or high school reunion?
I had a high school reunion. Yeah, it was weird.
How was
had a high
that?
school. I don't go.
It was weird. All the people that I hated in school were really nice. It was awful.
Were they hot?
I wasn't paying attention because I hated them so much. But they were all really nice. And I was just like, you know,
There's always that internal dilemma where somebody you fucking hated ends up glowing up. You
I
know,
know.
would
So
I
why
hate
you-
fuck is the question. You know, that's where I'm at.
I was the one that glue up.
That's crazy. All right, if you guys want to debate, go ahead and double tap the screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here. Would appreciate it. No, some of the people treated me like shit in high school, and then I went there.
Yeah,
They're
there
all
were a lot of
super nice. I
assholes
was
in high
like,
school.
what
That's
the
right.
fuck's wrong with you? You're supposed to be a
I see
douchebag. I
some of them on
practiced
Facebook
for
still.
10 years. I practiced this. All right. I practiced for 10 years to trash all of you in this room, and now you're being nice, and I can't do it. God. George is back. Whatever.
Okay.
At least it's something.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
I
yeah, I
had to
saw that
say
movie
was-
Sinners last night. It's really good.
I saw the Minecraft movie.
You know what happens to me a lot of
Yeah.
times is that I'll be out in public and I'll have people be like, "Hey, you're Josh, you know, so and so. You're Josh Tic Tac," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I went to high
You?
school." I have no fucking idea who they are. Never, never, ever, ever.
Oh, hey, yeah, you and
Yeah,
I
hey,
have no
fella.
idea who you are. Come in for a hug, buddy.
Sorry, I can't hear names. If you could write that down for me, George. What's going on?
I can't hear names.
I had a bout of amnesia. George, what's going on? You're back.
Yeah, no, all I had to say was Obama, Clinton, Carter, and GW all visited my university. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
What was that last
Trump
part?
should.
No, not Trump. This is before
Trump's
Trump's
ass
time.
would get flamed at a university. And I lived there.
Well, actually,
I would
no,
roast
not
him
at
to
mine.
death.
I went to a nice
would
university
roast
in
him to
Texas,
death.
and like you, woke
He would
kids,
think about me for the rest of his life. I would
I
hurt
actually
that
ran
man's
into
feelings.
GW.
What's wrong with woke libs going to college? Didn't you just hear I never went to college?
Oh yeah,
Just
no,
so-
that's why. That's good.
That what? I am the most left person on this panel,
I
and
said
I never
no.
went to college.
I didn't go to a woke college, so there's that.
Yeah, me
What is a
neither.
woke
I was
college?
homeschooled.
That's my point.
Yeah, I was homeschooled. No, I wasn't homeschooled.
Hey, George, let me ask you a question, man. Do you think there are social injustices in this world?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Do you have a desire to change those injustices, George?
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, white people are getting screwed over constantly.
Any injustices that you recognize? Do you have a desire to change that?
Oh, so someone that spoke college. I mean, you should look the best one.
George,
the one.
hey man,
Go
you
ahead.
see
Okay, go ahead.
injustices in this world. You see something
yeah.
happen. You're like, hey, that's not right. I have a desire to change that outcome. Is that something that you feel?
No, I do not feel that.
You don't ever feel like that?
No, it's like, well, that sucks for them.
You just don't care. You're like, hey man, maybe that injustice could have been changed by, I don't know, paying somebody a little bit more so that way they didn't have to steal food to live. Do you think that's a good idea?
I'm just like, well, I'm glad I'm not that guy. In other words.
Were you not just prophesizing earlier about Christian values?
Yeah, I am. What about Christian values?
I mean, you're
Does
saying it
Christian
sucks for
values
them.
say- well, does it say to steal when you don't have? Is that what Christian values means?
No one's advocating for that.
Okay.
But some
then why are you
baseline of
bringing it
empathy
up?
and support for community seems to be what you're adverse to.
Well, I mean, it sucks, but it's
Okay.
better. It's better to not be them than to be them.
It's better to help them so that their situation is improved.
Would they help you?
If they were in the
Doesn't
position I
matter.
was,
Would they help?
It doesn't
would they
matter.
Really?
That's not why you help.
it's
people,
not
because
not
you think they might
expected,
help
okay?
you.
This isn't transactional. You just
I'm
do
not-
it because
yeah,
it's
it's
the
not
right thing to
transactional.
do.
Well, if they wouldn't do it for you, so why would you do it for them?
Is that what the Bible
Because
teaches?
it needs to be done, dude.
You have to decide
Is
what
that
kind
what
of
religion
person
teaches?
you.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I think it's a really toxic thing, not only in relationships, like whether it's romantic or whatever else, to be like, I'm going to do
Okay.
this because you would
No,
do it to me, or you did
I
it to
agree
me.
with
I
you.
think that's very toxic. Right. So when we're talking about whether or not people would do stuff for us, I don't really care, and I don't think that. I don't think you. I think you lead by example.
No,
I
and I
truly
agree.
think
I
that's the
don't
case.
really care. So why would I really care what happens?
Start the
Yeah.
trend. Okay.
What
Right.
was that?
Well,
Yeah,
back to Sinners. It's a great movie.
my
Okay,
bad.
same director as Black Panther, Fruitvale Station. Really
Oh,
good
and
movie.
whoever asked on the comments what university, just look up which one all the living presidents went to at the same time.
I'm good. All right.
No,
Well,
not
thanks for
you. I'm
coming in,
talking
George.
about the chat. I'm talking about the chat, not you.
Okay,
I
Okay.
don't
thanks.
care
Well,
about you.
all right. Well, thanks for coming in and informing
Yeah,
us.
see ya.
Okay. Yeah, everyone go see Sinners. Movie of the year, I'd say.
Okay.
Best movie I've
Is it a
seen
horror
this
show?
year. It's a horror movie, yeah, but like a
Okay.
psychological thriller. Michael B. Jordan
This
plays
person
two
cannot
characters
go
in it.
in.
I didn't even fucking notice. I thought they had an actor that looked like him playing the other character here, but no, that's him.
So
He's
is it
good.
like
I
Split almost?
No, he plays twins, and they share a lot of scenes together. Like the way they shot it, I thought that was a completely different person. Like he's holding him, he's touching him, he's fighting all that stuff, hugging him, and I thought that was a different guy, but no, it's him.
My wife's into horror
Sinners.
shows. I'll have to take her.
Yeah,
Uh,
takes place
horror
in Jim Crow
adventure.
era.
I think that's.
Watch it.
I'll have to check
I
that.
don't like horror movies. I don't like scary
You
movies
like
at
this
all.
one? It's
I
a
don't.
thinker.
I don't either, but my wife does, so I'll watch them with her.
Yeah, it's not like slasher kind of thing. It's like psychological.
Hmm.
Like jump
Okay.
scares, I don't like.
I
There's-
like
there's a few
Minecraft.
of them, but it's not
Minecraft
bad.
was pretty intense. So
No.
Minecraft was pretty intense. No.
Have you been seeing those
Yeah.
trends where people fucking destroy the theater with popcorn shit
Oh my
flying in the air
God,
during
yeah.
these scenes?
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to go.
Yeah, yell,
You
yell,
stop that?
yell, just yell chicken jockey and get it and stop.
Yeah.
Chicken
What's that all
jockey.
about?
It's a part of Minecraft and it was in the movie. And I guess it's not even like that big of a thing. It's just the way Jack Black said it, everyone thought it was really cringy and stupid. So they were just like, we're going to do a thing. And then one theater did it and it got posted and a bunch of other people started doing it and they started destroying theaters. But the one I was in,
Terrible.
people just yelled chicken jockey, which is fine. I don't give a shit. if you
So
yell chicken jockey.
I got the lore on this. My kid told me about this. Apparently, the chicken jockey is a very rare spawn within the game, and the pig with the crown on his head it's a tribute to Technoblade, who was a big time Minecraft creator on YouTube. He had a huge following on YouTube. He ended up passing away of cancer. So they gave him if you play Minecraft, it says Technoblade never
That's not the-
dies. That's
Yeah,
a tribute
that's
to
the-
him. And then the pig with the crown was also a tribute to him.
No, the chicken jockey is like a spawn. I don't know if that's related
Yes.
to Technoblade. Yeah.
It's two things in one. It's kind of because he's riding the pig.
No.
He's
I
riding the
have
pig
no
with the
idea
crown,
what
so
any of
it's-
that means.
They just
Yeah,
have a chicken
I didn't
jockey
either,
running
but-
this thing. I don't know. Turn it into a thing.
It was explained to me, and that's what I understood.
Okay,
yeah,
Mark's
the pig
back.
with the crown was his skin.
Oh, him. Yeah. Mr. Peach Iced Tea, what's up?
Hello.
Hey.
How we doing?
What's
Eh.
up, Mark?
You know, Louisiana was specially blended for iced tea.
Really? All right, what's up?
Well, I mean, I know why I support Trump.
Nuh-uh.
No. No, you don't. Debate over.
I
Was
I
it easy?
like that he wants to decouple us from China.
Okay.
I think China is a bigger threat to democracy than Trump is. That's my position.
So why would his tactic be effective? We're not going to decouple ourselves from China. This is never going to happen. Can't have functioning American capitalism and no China.
Well, I think that's a very preventative attitude, and I think Trump
Well, I
thinks
mean,
differently. I think he's doing
well,
everything
think
to
about
show
it
that
this
it
way,
can't.
right? Think about it this way. How long did it take for American jobs to move overseas? It was a process of decades, right?
Yeah, but we're in a race of exponential growth of like AI and robotics now, which makes things a little bit more different than they have been.
Okay, but I don't understand why we have to decouple ourselves from China to create stuff elsewhere in the world. Or are you saying we should create it in America?
America combined with like they call it friend shoring, like shoring jobs to like allies and not potential
So,
adversaries.
why then hit them with tariffs if the goal is to get them to take on manufacturing?
Well, China's really the only one that's got a crazy tariff right now. Everyone else has been completely paused because he's negotiating trade deals, and
Well,
they're in
he's
the
not.
process of finalizing deals
Sure.
with like Japan and India and
Sure, but
Israel.
what would be the reason for putting a tariff on Vietnam, for instance, a 70 something percent tariff on Vietnam?
Just to get them into the negotiating room.
Why
And so
why
they want
would
to make a
you
deal, which it
why would
sounds
you
like they
make
do.
them why would you make them nervous with accepting more trade
He just
by threatening them?
this is just his style. Like he's just very like strong. He makes people know that he's for real and he's serious.
This is just like the bridge thing, Jaden. Not the bridge, but
Yeah.
the wall thing. Exactly like the
Mhm.
wall thing. Really non-specific. Doesn't address any of the serious concerns that we have. Doesn't make any sense. Why would he? I don't understand why he would tariff China, and then tariff our allies if he's trying to get them to back us against China.
Well, our allies tariff us as well, and so everyone has a flat 10% tariff, which is almost every country we deal with has at least a 10% VAT added on. So European Union has 10% on us. Like there's a lot of countries that have. So those are reciprocal. When you're talking about 10%, that's not really like, oh, we're tariffing our allies. We're giving reciprocal. We're treating them how they treat us. China is different. We are trying to have the world and our allies diversify and not being so reliant on China because they have a plan that is working that is going to dominate the global economy. And with that, they bring along their sphere of influence of authoritarianism.
So why not a plan with our neighbors and allies to move manufacturing? Why the hostility?
This is just his method. This is his methodology.
Well,
This
his
is Trump's.
method is causing countries to start signing agreements with China, even as we speak. So
Well, there's
how is
countries
that
that are
helping
playing
us?
both sides right now, and that's what's
Well,
being
they're
negotiated. That's
well,
the
they
war we're
are,
in.
but how are you going to cause? Right. But how are you going to move manufacturing? I mean, you guys complained about the increase of prices. So how are you going to move manufacturing to union jobs in Europe and still have cheap goods?
I mean, prices are going to go up either way, but it's
But
one
this
of
is what
those
you guys
things.
complained about. This is what you guys complained about for 4 years, and now suddenly you're like, yeah, this is acceptable.
Yeah, but this has more of a clear goal aligned with it. There's a lot of people that are very concerned about the decoupling from China's economy and slowing down their economy and not having it grow so much off of our imports
Right, but if
because
we have a
of our
retail
deficit.
economy and we're not buying as much, what's going to happen? I will point out, this is the first time this has happened. I watch prices from stuff over in China go up on Amazon. It's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
their economy is going to hurt just like ours is. Like this is, and that is right now we're in a trade war. Like this
How
is
their
right, why did
economy
we
gonna
need to
hurt?
do that though?
because they are coming for us, like through
Why?
economic dominance and reliance. Like they trap
Okay,
people
why do I
with debt.
care? Why do I care if they have economic dominance?
Because their sphere of influence of how they govern is spreading. Like
Right, so
What's
right, so you Right, but you also have to remember, right? Like, obviously, if their sphere of influence is going, it means that the United States is not doing something correctly. If countries are willing to turn to an authoritarian regime, it means they're not doing something correctly. And adding tariffs to China, combative, doesn't address why people are going to China.
Well, I think a lot of people would argue that because of their authoritarian regime, because they don't have the polarization of politics and elections and all the chaos, that is why they are so efficient, and that's why they are targeted to take over the global economy. So,
No, that's not why. It's because our trade deals globally have been very, very oppressive. Very oppressive. And it's allowed for China to come in and offer money with better terms than we offer. Less restrictive terms. Terms that don't turn private or public property into private property. Terms that don't cut austerity measures.
no, China is well known for being one of the most like notoriously bad faith practitioners of trade and unfair practitioners of trade through
No, they have not.
yes, they
You're
have.
literally saying
Give an
that.
example.
You're making that up.
What do you mean?
Why
Can you
are-
give an
All
example,
the-
please? Can you give an example?
Yeah,
Why
all
are-
the forced
why are-
technology transfers, all of the cyber espionage to steal our technology, the
So why
trillions
are
of dollars of
countries going to
technology
them?
being stolen from us.
So why are countries
several
going to them?
lawsuits. What?
Can you address that really quick? Why are countries
What?
going to them then?
They're going to both sides. They're trying to figure out who's going to win, and they're trying to play. They're going to us too. Like these countries in the middle are like, holy shit. And so they're trying to see if they can just stay neutral and get whatever they want from both sides and stay neutral.
Why did Trump? What if this was such a good idea? Why didn't Trump think of this before like October of 2024?
What, tariffs on China?
No,
He's
blanket tariffs
been
on China.
putting tariffs because he saw that the tariffs worked in some extent, but he needed to do it more. He needed to double down.
He needed to double down. Where did they work before? Really quick.
The phase one trade deal.
Are you talking? Well, I'm asking about tariffs specifically.
Yeah, the tariffs are what caused China to come to the table to make the phase one trade deal happen.
Well, we had tariffs in 2018.
Yeah.
Right. So what did we get for
The
that?
trade war that was happening in 2018, 2019, that's what brought China to the table to make a deal that was the phase one trade deal.
What deal
They
did they
didn't
cut?
make a deal. They cut off our food supply to them.
They caused over 300 legacy farmers to go under. It's a total of like $20 billion
and then when they
a
signed
year
the deal,
to bail out.
so you guys, okay,
They
yeah,
didn't
I
sign a
understand.
deal. They signed
How
a
did-
deal with Brazil and
They
started
didn't
buying
sign
their
a phase one.
agriculture.
You don't know what the phase one trade deal is? Does anybody know?
Yeah,
or
the
you guys
one
just-
you're talking about the
phase
tariffs
one.
against steel and soy, correct?
No, I'm
Or
talking
steel
about
and aluminum.
I'm talking about the trade deal that they made because of the tariffs that opened up our agricultural exports into China that they previously had barriers on, like poultry and beef and
What are
all
you
this
talking
Can
stuff.
you give us the name of the deal, please?
The phase one trade deal. I've said it
Is that
10
the name
times.
of it? That's the official
Yeah.
name of it? Okay.
Yes.
So the one that happened in
Yeah.
2020,
Yes.
3 years
as a result
after-
of the tariffs.
2 years
No, but-
after farmers went under.
And they were subsidized by Trump. So he bailed them out because he was a man of his word. It says, yes, this is because of me. I'm going to bail you out because we are opening trade deals. And then in 2020, they had the largest exports ever with prices of soybeans that went through the roof because of the increased demand. Like, you guys aren't getting the full picture here. I'm a farmer from Nebraska. I know this stuff.
Right here.
Like, so,
Right here, China bought none of the extra 200 billion of U.S. exports in Trump's trade deal.
Because they were buying it all from Brazil.
no, they fell short
That's-
of. It's not none. They fell short of their goals because of COVID.
So they bought none.
So it didn't work?
Oh, sorry. It said only 58% of the U.S. exports are committed to be purchased under the agreement. 1 second.
It did
China
work
bought
though because they had
58%.
trade barriers where our farmers weren't allowed to go in and sell any type of poultry or beef, and they had permanently opened the doors for our exports to go in there, as well as the
What
soybean.
caused
After
that?
he destroyed,
The trade deal,
the
the
markets.
phase one trade deal explicitly says these
Right.
things.
So number one, this didn't happen until 2 years after. But I find it funny. Why does he have to come in and destroy everything, get nothing in return, or less than he was promised in return, and you guys call him a good businessman?
Because the alternative is that you sit by and let China take everything over, and they will just destroy our economy for us. That's the alternative.
Doesn't that
That's
sound
what they
like we
do.
just
They
need to pull ourselves
economically
up with the
chokehold people,
bootstraps?
and they play the long
Right.
game.
Right.
that's what
So
we
do
do.
we.
Sounds like we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and work harder because China's the shit out of us. Wouldn't you agree, Mark?
Right. Yeah. I just listen.
I would say
don't know
get the hell away
if
from
you're.
them, just like he is doing. And
Well,
that's what
why
we
would you
support him
not?
on.
I mean, if you're gonna hold on a second. Let's assume for a second you're gonna go to war with a country because they're real bad. Let's say China, right? And would it make sense for Trump to be like, I know what I'm gonna do to stop China? I'm gonna bomb all of our allies first, and then that'll make them go to war with us.
But
Why has he
that's
not
even
at any
comparable. We're not
point? Why
doing
has he
anything of
not?
the sort?
But why is he not? I mean, it's an economic nuke, right? Why isn't he going to them and
Not
saying,
really.
"Work with me
I
on X"?
disagree, because we
Why
have
would you
been the world's
disagree with
piggy
that?
bank for so long that they
We're
have
not
had
a
better
piggy
trade deals
bank.
with us.
I don't know what you mean.
We
a
have been.
piggy bank. I don't know what you mean a piggy bank. We sell and buy goods.
No, people make way more money off us than we make off of them, and it's been like that for a long time
What?
because of the uneven.
I don't know
tariffs.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like
The United
when
States
our
has more
automobiles go into
GDP.
Europe,
There's more
it's a
wealth.
2.5% tariff. When
There's
their
more
cars come
wealth
here,
in the
it's a
United
10% tariff.
States. There's more wealth in the United States than there is in any
Yeah, but
other
the
place in
tariffs
the
are
world.
uneven. The
The
tariffs are
tariffs
uneven.
are not
Why do
even
all-
a deal. It's not even a deal. It's
You're
not a
saying
deal.
it's an
It doesn't
economic
have to
nuke
do with
for us to
trade.
have
See, you guys are
10% tariffs.
conflating. No, you guys are conflating trade deficit with tariffs.
I understand
And you
what the
guys-
trade deficits are.
And you guys not run around screaming
Why do you think
1776 like you
China's
didn't
growing
fight a
so fast?
revolutionary
Because
war
they have
over
a
it?
huge trade surplus.
No, China is growing so fast for other reasons.
It's not the trade
Because they're
surplus that they
advancing
have of
technology.
hundreds of billions
You
of
can
dollars
say
in
it's trade
technology.
surplus. It's the fact that they've targeted manufacturing so hard and they've subsidized it. And we are
Yeah.
never going to be able to get into that
Through
market to compete
unfair
with them.
practices like stealing our technology, our IP technology, our
not doing that,
forced technology transfers. This is all proven.
They are now.
Okay.
They're doing
They've
that
been
now.
doing that
but they
forever,
weren't
for a
doing it
long
before.
time.
No, actually, they
So
have pretty
even-
strict
let-
regulations on the IPs. On intellectual
So,
property.
They
have
hack
pretty
our
strict
private
regulations.
companies.
Awesome.
This
Cool.
is
But I
all
thought you said
factual.
phase
So
one
what-
protected
what is
against
that?
that. Did it not work then?
I didn't say that.
Well, phase
them-
one had a chapter on
I'm-
intellectual property.
Yeah, I think there might be some, but I'm talking about how it helped farmers in the long run by opening up agricultural markets to sell their stuff in China.
They had
Wait, he's
agriculture
the one-
markets.
He literally
They
closed
cut off
Yeah,
them
but
down.
they
$200
had
billion.
barriers, so we couldn't sell any type of poultry or beef or anything like that.
Right.
There's non-monetary barriers they have that we opened up.
Okay,
with
so
the
hold
phase
on,
one
hold on,
trade
hold on
deal.
a second. So let's assume that's true. Two things will happen.
It is
Our
true.
prices will go up. Our prices will go up. Second thing that you're seemingly ignoring in this is that you really think that was it 15 billion or something or 20 billion we had to give to farmers, and the farm bill that was 100
20.
something billion? Do you think that was somehow
20 billion
more
a year.
beneficial? Like, wouldn't it have been cheaper just to subsidize the farmers that couldn't sell it overseas?
It's possible, but we have
Rather
to
than
protect-
destroying.
There's nothing wrong with what he did, bailing out the farmers for $29 billion.
No, it's not you, Josh. I'm scoffing at this debate point. So we paid tens of billions of dollars to farmers to bail them out, why would we not just subsidize the fact that they couldn't sell cattle overseas?
Well, we couldn't predict the future if that's what China was going to do and target. They targeted the farmers because those were Trump states, and they were trying to disrupt his election and his support base.
That's
Like, that
not
was a
true.
So what did
Yes,
he
it
get?
is
What did
true.
we get from this?
No, it's
What
not.
did we get from
Yes,
the
it is.
original
What's
tariffs?
false about that?
The original tariffs
What about
cost us
them being
hundreds of
Trump
thousands
states?
of jobs. The
Because
original tariffs
farmers
cost
are
us.
mainly Trump states. Yes.
Nope,
You
that's
disagree with
not.
that?
That's not why he did it. Yeah, 100%. He
Not to do with his
specifically
election
targeted.
chances.
He specifically targeted the farm states is because Xi Jinping went to college here. You know that, right?
Yes.
He went to college in Iowa. He was very aware of our agriculture system and how it works in America.
Yeah.
So when he came back, he targeted those agriculture markets specifically because he had a lot of knowledge on them, and he knew how that would affect our economy.
Yes,
It
he
was a
had
very
knowledge.
targeted attack. Now, why
Yes.
did he set up those? Why did he set up those targets on our agriculture?
Because he knew those were. He wanted to disrupt Trump's base, and that's who he
set 'em up.
They were.
He
He
set 'em up.
made
farmers
Trump.
turning against
He
him.
made
Fuck.
Trump put
He
the
put
tariffs
tar-
on him.
Hold on.
Does that make sense?
Trump put tariffs on him in 2017. That's why he turned around and said, "Okay, if you're gonna tariff our steel and aluminum, we're gonna mess with your agriculture." And he
Yes.
knows our agriculture. That's why it wasn't because it was Trump states.
Yes,
he did it
it
specifically
was.
because they were
He knew.
agriculture states.
But
I
he
mean, we
doesn't
could-
care about U.S. electoral habits, okay?
Yes, they
He cares
do.
about
They
the
don't- they don't
economy.
want
He
Trump
cares
to be
about his
president.
economy. He cares about how our economy impacts his. So
Oh, my
when you say
God.
Trump states, Illinois was included in that. There's something like $27 billion worth of retaliatory tariff funds that had ultimately been lost for that year. Okay, 70% reduction in soybean purchases, amongst others. So this was a coordinated attack. They knew that this would happen, and this was their plan all along. If you're going to tariff us, we're going to strike back, affect your industry when it comes to agriculture, some of the largest commodities that we trade with them.
Yep.
I mean, we agree that they knew exactly what they were doing. I don't see where we disagree here.
My point is, it wasn't Trump states. He did it specifically because they're agriculture states, which also happen to be Trump states. That was my whole point.
Well, I mean, I just disagree with you there. I think that he did it because that would disrupt Trump's election chances.
Well, then you
and
would have
his
to show
support.
us that.
Okay, he's not going to win Illinois. He doesn't care about that. Ultimately, those three states, Illinois, Kansas, and Iowa, had something like $3.8 billion GDP reduction in the year of 2019 alone.
Yeah, his deals have not worked out at all.
Yeah, in 2018, 2019, of course. That's in the midst of the trade war.
We're starting the trade war. We're starting the
It's
trade war.
phase
Trade
two.
war.
It's phase 2 of the trade war.
No, it's not phase 2 of anything. This is the heat of it. What happens
Yes, I
here in
know.
the next 6 months? This is the heat of it.
And why
Yeah.
collapse farms now if he has no electoral chances in the future? He's not going to be running again. He's not legally. We're going to do the same thing, second verse, same as the first.
No, this is a more.
What are you not
double-down
getting? Why are
effect
you
of
even arguing
decoupling.
about this? There are no serious economists that are saying this is a good thing. The stock market's tanking day over day. Everything is in shambles. The guy has bankrupt 6 businesses. He committed persistent fraud for 50 years. The only way he was able to keep his businesses afloat, if he had taken his money that his dad gave him and invested in the S&P 500, he would have roughly at least the same amount of money that he currently has, if not more. And you're telling me that we need to trust this guy with something he can't really seem to even comprehend on a basic level? Even when he's talking about it, he's conflating trade deficit with tariff. He also thinks it's just a tax on other countries. Like, he fundamentally, just from listening to the guy, does not understand what he's talking about at all.
See, that's just where we completely disagree. in that he
What do we
just-
disagree on? I've listened to the guy talk
a
about
tariff a
tariffs. He
tax on
doesn't
another
understand
country?
it.
He's a
He's
different
saying we're
person
gonna
in
make
front of
we're
the
gonna
same
make
country.
so
Behind
much
closed
money.
doors.
He says we're gonna make so much money. That's his understanding of tariffs.
Yeah, because he's a good politician. Like
A
he's
good
He's
politician.
lying.
just like Bill
Lies.
Maher said. Like he's a different person behind closed doors than he is to the cameras.
I
and that's
don't
how
give a
every
shit who
politician
he is, public or not.
Like you guys think he's an
He's a
idiot.
rapist.
He
Yeah,
is an
man.
idiot. Yes,
No,
he's
he's
not
not.
bright. We've seen in the
He's
stock
very
market.
bright.
How's the
He's
stock
very
market
bright.
doing? The stock market doing well?
Yeah, in the middle of a trade war, of course it's going to be down a little
Awesome.
bit. It's
Yeah, I
still
know.
up
I
on
know.
the
Do you know what the
year.
stock market measures? It measures long-term viability of the economy. And if the stock market's declining this much in this short of time, it means that people don't have any confidence in the future.
And the
Measures
numbers point to
confidence in
that.
our
And you're trying to say
consumer
this is
confidence is at an
temporary.
all-time low.
But they try and argue this is temporary. Well, it's just going down just because. No, it's not going down just because. It's going down because of the long-term questions in the stock market.
It's a normal correction in a stock market.
I don't know what you guys keep saying correction. When did he tell us there was going to be a correction prior to the
That
election?
is addressed to Congress.
Prior
So
to
he
the election.
predicted- did he
Explicitly said there's
predict that
gonna
he
be
was
a-
going to withhold the tariffs?
What?
Did he predict that he was going to withhold the tariffs for 90 days?
Nope.
Okay, then it's not coordinated. And it's not strategic.
It is strategic. It just shows that he is adaptable to new information and being able to read
That
the
isn't
situation
strategy, then.
and adapt as he goes. I think that's a positive. That doesn't show he's stuck in a certain way and is so stubborn that he can't adjust.
He hasn't adjusted. He's
crashing the
doing the
He
same
did
economy.
tariff
adjust by
policy
causing the
again and
tariffs
again.
and creating new deals. That's him adjusting.
What's been created so far?
There are many deals coming to fruition, and it's like with India and Japan. There's already many deals that have been made.
Nothing has been
know,
put forth so
nothing.
far. Nothing is set in stone. They met with them, Vance did, before killing the Pope, and that's been it.
I mean, these deals are very complex deals. They don't happen overnight. That's why they're 90-day pauses, because that's time to get these deals done. But
That's
it's already
enough
been
time.
stated-
That is enough time to negotiate global trade, and it's not 90 days anymore, by the way.
Yeah, well, there's already been many reports by Politico that like countries like India, Japan, Israel are already like on the final days of like finalizing their deals. And
I
India
looked
is
for
a big
those. I
one
didn't
because
find
they're going to
any
be
of
one
those
of the
stories.
most prosperous countries in the world.
I looked for those stories. I didn't find any. The only thing I could find was Donald Trump saying that 72 countries have come to the table because of his tariff. I found no other information or secondary sources on that. Hey, Mark, just real quick, what do you farm?
Well, my family farms soybeans, wheat, and corn.
Did your family get bailouts, Mark?
Nope.
Are you lying to us? Mark?
Bullshit. If you're a
I'm not
soybean farmer,
lying.
you got something.
Well, I mean, I personally don't know. I'd have to
How
ask
big's
my
your
dad.
farm?
Bullshit.
It's
You
like
farm cows? 'Cause I'm
640
smelling
acres.
bullshit.
Yeah, man. You got to bail
Like-
out.
Possibly.
Yeah,
You're the most subsidized industry in America. You've received a subsidy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I'd
they
have
do.
to ask my dad. I don't actually do the farming.
Maybe you should.
Okay.
Okay.
But my dad's a big Trump guy, so I mean, I don't know. He was also an intelligence officer.
If Trump,
in
if Trump
war.
gave me $20 billion, I'd probably vote for him again.
How many more? If Trump runs again in 2028, how many? Just really quick. How many times is he gonna crash the economy before you're like, man, this guy cannot fucking run it? You know what I mean?
He's not even crashing the economy. The
We're on
IMF
number
even
2.
came out and says it doesn't even expect a recession.
That's not what the IMF said. The IMF literally
That's not-
moved.
yeah.
They literally. I read the article online yesterday. They literally moved the amount of GDP growth globally down 0.5%, largely
Yeah, but they
attributed
said
to
that
tariffs.
they're not forecasting a recession in the United States.
They
Exactly
might not
what
be
it said.
forecasting a recession yet. Other people are forecasting recessions. 80-something% of all CEOs are against the tariffs. It's like 86%.
Yeah, but
Half of all CEOs are saying Trump's running the country into the ground. That's a sizable
are-
margin.
because a lot of these CEOs are globalists.
I don't even know what that. Can you define globalists?
People that want China and the United States to get along so they can make more money.
I wouldn't say
Pretty
that
much
that's
is the-
okay. So we have a definition of global. So these people are globalists. So Donald Trump, he is by proxy then, under your admission, he's helping China by sending them off business for his hats, for his flags, for his all sorts of shit.
Yeah, just like
So
how
Trump
he
is
knew
so
how-
really quick. Trump is a globalist.
No, hold on, because
Is he not
yeah,
doing the same thing with Russia? Like
See,
definitionally?
it's similar to how he said that he knew how to take advantage of the tax code, and that's why he was going to do things to sew up loopholes. It's the same thing with this.
didn't.
Like,
Is he a globalist for sending business to China?
yeah, he's just somebody who takes advantage of the system that's there.
So Trump is a globalist.
Not
Did
right
he
now.
close up the tax loopholes that he benefited
He's
from?
attempting to fix his decree and be a nationalist.
So
That's
why
the whole
isn't he
point.
having union shops make his stuff in the United States? Why is he still importing it from China?
I'm pretty sure that's changing at the moment.
But did it?
Did what?
Has it changed?
I'm sure. I would bet money on it that it's changing at the moment.
What do you mean changing
Especially
at the
with these-
moment? What does that mean? Is there any way we can verify that?
Well, with these tariffs, I bet you
Why
he's
didn't
not
he do
doing
it
any more
before?
of that.
Shouldn't he live by it?
He's going to live by it now.
Where? Because if I go into his website, I'm willing to bet all that stuff's still made in China.
Maybe. It might
Why
be
didn't
old
he?
stuff that
He's
was made before the
he's
tariffs.
had what 9 years now to change it to an American-made shop. And he hasn't done it.
Actually, no. Somebody went into his Trump store and was looking at where everything was made, and most of it was made in friendly countries like Vietnam.
So not in America.
No, but it's called friendshoring instead of putting it to China.
Does friendshoring involve crippling tariffs?
Yeah, that's not national.
10% is more a reciprocal tariff. Not
Let's see,
crippling.
the Trump store. I'm willing to bet they hide where this shit's made. These stupid fucking Trump hats.
I'm
Now
willing
let's
to
talk-
bet if this guest looked up how the
$55
Chinese
for a
government
hat?
runs-
Must be
Wait,
made in America.
well, no, it's not because it's not saying where it's made.
Yeah, probably Mexico or Vietnam or something like that. India,
Where is
maybe.
it showing that? It's not saying where it's made.
The video I was talking about was a TikToker that went into his gift shop at his hotel.
I don't see how that's very America first.
It's
You
not.
see the wavering on literally everything.
Yeah.
America first, move jobs here, but also it's cool if we move them other places.
America first can mean being friendly with our allies and having production moved. to
He's
the
not
allies.
being friendly with our allies. You
not.
can't make the argument that he's
The whole
being
idea
friendly
is
with
to
our
get away from
allies because he's
China,
not doing
because
that.
China doesn't care about us.
Okay, threatening annexation of Canada is very a friendly move, right?
Yeah, or Panama, or threatening to drone strike within Mexico or airstrike. That's totally friendly shit, you know.
He was just saying it would
Jaden,
be a
if I-
beautiful
if I-
51st
if I-
state.
If I drone
just-
striked
he
inside
knows
your
how to
apartment
market.
complex, you'd not be happy.
We're friends, yeah.
Yeah, we're friends.
Totally okay with it,
Doesn't matter.
Tommy. Firebomb my place.
Molotov
I'll pay your
cockpit.
tariffs.
It's like you don't have a concise argument. It's like every time we try and pin you down on what you mean, you change your subject here. America first, but also
No,
not
not at
America
all.
first. Vietnam first. Vietnam
I came in here
first.
because I said I want to decouple from China. That was my argument.
Okay,
I said
okay.
China's a bigger threat to democracy than Trump.
And in what way is Trump qualified to do that? And how would we decouple? Let's start there. How would we decouple
him
from
and his
China?
administration have been predicting this
Okay,
stuff,
all
and
right.
they-
Let's
the stuff has been coming
how would we
true.
decouple from China? Let's start there. We put these tariffs on China, then what? What are you expecting to have happen next?
And then the free market will play out because we are the number one consumers in the world.
I don't know what
People
you
are
mean
gonna
the
wanna
free
be-
market will pay out. What happens next? China produces
manufacturing
all
will
of these
get figured
good.
out.
Who's going to
People wanna make
manufacture it?
money. People want to sell to Americans, so they're going to figure out how to bring manufacturing into countries
Okay.
like India, Mexico, or America to avoid the tariffs and to
Okay.
get us as customers.
Awesome,
because they
cool.
wanna make
Let's
a
talk about
profit.
iPhones for a second. So Apple's going to have to spend tens of billions of dollars setting up a fab factory in a country that does not have the supplies that China does, meaning that we're just going to have to import them from China because the contracts that they have with other countries can't be circumvented. So we'll either have to go out and find the material to be able to build the phones, or somehow find a place that is already producing them. And then you have the issue where China has a monopoly on the ability to separate rare earth minerals, which are needed for cell phones, which are needed for computers. So you're asking us to develop this entire, and this is just one thing, phones. You're asking us to set up this entire industry in a different country that Apple is going to pay X amount of money to do. And you're expecting them to just do that as opposed to just not pass the cost off to the consumer? Yes.
Bro, it's about national security.
That's
It's
not what I'm
about not
asking
being
you.
relaxed.
How is
What?
what is going to happen if tariffs come to Apple? How are they moving to Vietnam?
They have to move.
Why?
How?
How? They have to invest in a new production plant or factory.
How long?
Okay,
does
so
that take?
so tens of billions of dollars.
Yes.
What's
Over how
motivating them?
long?
What's motivating them to do that?
Maybe Trump will give them some type of subsidy. Like, there's ways to do it. You act like it's
So
impossible.
why didn't he just subsidize them to move it?
We're gonna see how it works out. Somebody is going to.
Why didn't he not
wait
just
and
do
see.
that? Why did he not just subsidize them to move it?
Well, I don't
Why
know.
didn't he have this all
Maybe
in
he
place
still will.
before
Maybe
the
he still.
tariffs?
No, you
maybe
do
he's working
know.
out the
It's because
deals
he's
right now.
it's because he's a lunatic without a plan. You know exactly why.
It's
No,
why you
he
have to
has a
say
plan.
maybe. It's why it's all
He's not
speculative.
gonna tell. He's not gonna tell random people on the internet like what his plan is. He has a plan.
It doesn't
It doesn't
seem
have
like
to be
it.
random people on the internet. It should be the Fortune 500 businesses he's bankrupting right now.
He's not bankrupting anybody. That's what
He's
all
crippling
these
our
crazy
GDP.
misrepresentations are insane.
He has crashed
like
the
the
stock
S&P
market.
500. The S&P 500 is still
$11
up from a year
trillion.
ago.
It doesn't matter. It's on the
still
way
up from a
down.
year ago.
I know, and when it goes
it
down
does
more,
matter.
when it
Like,
goes down more, you'll
because
just say it's a good
corrections like this
thing.
happen.
So, in other words, hold on a second. You're expecting me and everybody else in here to put our financial future in the hands of a man that cannot even explain what he's doing or why he's doing it, or no one on planet Earth. No economist can figure out what he's doing. And you're expecting that this fucking stable genius should have our financial who you say has our financial best interest at hand, but can't even tell us what he's doing. You're asking everybody to just trust, to change the entire dynamic of America.
To be the most powerful
No one
person in
voted
the
for
world.
what? You voted for him
What
to
do you mean
crash
no
the
one
fucking
voted
economy.
for
No
him?
one
He
voted for
won
him
a
in blind
democratic election in
confidence.
the free-
No
freest
one
country
voted
in the
for him in
world.
blind confidence.
Yes,
It's
we
crazy to
did.
me that when he says what he means, you guys don't believe him. You literally make up reasons that's not what he meant. And then when he doesn't have
just
anything,
trolling.
you're doing everything amazing. Oh my God, he's doing great. Why should we give up our financial future on the whims of a guy that's bankrupt 6 companies?
Out of how many?
Who cares? He bankrupted
he
a casino in Atlantic City. I don't care. How many did Biden
500
bankrupt?
companies. So what is that? Is that a 99% rate of companies that didn't go bankrupt? 1%? That's really what
We
you're gonna
honestly
try to
don't know
argue?
how many companies that he started, but if you're talking about no,
This
it
guy
would be
is
6 bankruptcies.
unprecedented. This guy
He
is
had the
like a
lowest,
mixture
dude.
of
You don't even know what you're
Napoleon and
talking
Julius
about. In
Caesar.
Atlantic City, he had the lowest revenue, the lowest profit margins out of every other casino on the Strip. He bankrupted a casino in Atlantic City.
Yeah, he expanded too quickly. He took it. He
And
took
you
a
don't.
chance.
So take
yeah.
that forward. Okay, so he's taking a chance on tariffs.
So you're not going to name any of the other companies that he's done well with, like the billions.
I don't think he's
of dollars
done
that
well
got?
with.
Sure,
I don't
Trump
think he's done
Steaks,
well with
Trump
them.
Airlines, Trump Water.
I don't think he's done well with them. But I'm asking you very simply. You're asking us to trust,
You can't say he's
blindly
done
trust.
bad.
Hold on a second. You're asking us and everyone in America to blindly trust their financial future to a guy that cannot explain how tariffs are going to do anything. And just in addition, it's not like there's a big call from economists saying this is a good idea. Virtually all of them are going, don't do it. So you tell me, where's this guy a fucking genius that he knows more than virtually every economist on the planet?
Because he has access to all the classified, top secret information, the intelligence reports.
No, he's leaking it all.
Yeah, so
He
just
knows
trust,
more
just
than you
trust.
and me.
He just
He
trusts
knows
that he's not.
everything.
We just have to
You
trust that
guys
he's
don't
not
even-
going to bankrupt another thing.
That's what we elected him for.
Did
We did
Hexer
not
tell you
elect
that on
him.
Signal?
He was elected the president of the United States.
Hey,
That
yo,
just
real
fucking
quick,
means
this is kind of
something.
funny, actually. In fact, I'll turn my camera on and show you guys this. But I typed up in Grok a list of his failed businesses, and it's still going.
Oh,
It won't stop.
It's still going. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't vote for him, and nobody voted for him for blind stuff. And I don't
Jeez, I've got
remember.
high-speed
I don't
internet.
remember. I don't remember a single person coming in here during
he
the election.
ran
And
on
I was still
tariffs.
talking. Still talking. He barely ran on tariffs. But I find it funny that when I walk, when you know this whole election cycle is going on, not a single person came in and said, "I just blindly trust him." Not a single person. And now you're saying blindly trust him with the tariffs. He ran on. So he ran on some blanket tariffs. He never said 75% until right up before the election. He never said 125% at any point. He said 100, and then he started. I think he like the last couple of days during his presidency, he started going 200%. He just started naming out fucking numbers.
He
Where-
ran on confronting China
Where are you
with
getting?
large
Where?
tariffs.
Yeah, I know, and he's failing. He's pushing everybody to China. I don't know why you don't fucking
No,
get
it's-
about that.
We're in the first quarter of a trade war. Like, you can't say he's failing.
He's failing.
their
Everybody,
economy is
he's
going
failing.
down as well.
What other country is
failure,
going?
yeah.
Yeah, we're with you, America. Thank you. Canada's pulling shit off the shelves. Mexico's signing agreements with Canada or with China. Canada's looking to China. Europe is looking to sow a relationship with China. Why? For two reasons. It's fucking great. Because Donald Trump's aversion to the Ukraine war and supporting them in spite that Europe wants them to. So Europe's going, if we can work out a deal with China where they stop funding Russia, it's in our benefit. And we won't
Not
have to
only
deal
that-
with the fucking issues. So I don't, it's like you're like, he's a genius. And literally everybody on the world stage hates him. It's fucking crazy to me. You guys are like, hey, he's so respected. And everybody's like, no, we're going elsewhere. Crazy.
Not only that,
Did
but
you just
coordinated
follow
bond sell-offs. Okay, Canada, Japan, the EU started selling bonds together, even at a slow pace. What this does is it floods the bonds, prices drop, interest rates spike, which he's begging. That's why the stock market crashed the other day. He's attacking Jerome Powell. This causes a spiraling snowball effect of debt. And at that point, it's harder to pull out of than it is to alleviate. So this is what's happened here. They don't respect us. It's why he pulled out of the tariffs the first time around a few weeks ago. Coordinated bond sell-offs. This leads towards another recession, towards a worse depression than we had previously. This is the de-dollarization that had been previously warned about. And now, in real time, we're seeing the value of our dollar drop considerably so.
In the next coming months, there are going to be many trade deals announced that are finalized, and when the market goes
Okay.
through the roof after they're announced, I hope you
Not
guys
addressing
keep
anything I
that
said.
same
He
energy.
didn't he
What?
said.
Okay, you didn't even listen to
So
anything I said.
blind faith.
Oh, word.
So you're asking people to put blind faith in a failed businessman.
He's not a failed businessman. He's
He
the
is a
most-
failed businessman.
you want that
I would
Brock
say that
list?
if you, I would say that if you, I
It's
would
still
say that
going.
if you could have put your money in a stock market or ran a business and made the same amount of money, you're a failure as a businessman. Failure.
Trump Airlines, Trump University, Trump Stinks, Trump Vodka, Trump Mortgage, Trump The Game, Trump Magazine, GoTrump.com, Trump Ice, New Jersey Generals, Trump Network, Trump Tower Tampa, Trump Fragrances, Trump Mattresses, Christ, to go your My Pillow,
He did the Trump game
Beverages,
twice.
Tour de Trump, what the fuck, Trump Net, Trump Ocean Resort, Baja, Mexico, Trump Company, here we go, Trump Taj Mahal, Trump Plaza Hotel and Casinos, Trump Castle and Marina, Trump Castles and Casino Resorts, and Trump Entertainment Resort.
What's his net worth?
Declined.
No.
I don't know why that matters. Your argument was that he has no filter or that he's a successful businessman.
Yeah, I think successful businessmen have billions of dollars.
Okay? It doesn't mean that they're successful. He inherited a bunch of it. Would be richer had he followed
inherited,
Tommy's
like-
suggestion of investing in the S&P.
He inherited in like the millions. Now he has
Yeah,
like
400
6
million.
billion.
Yeah, he inherited $400 million back in the 1960s, man. Do you know how much money that is?
That's not how much he inherited in that time.
It 100% is. I might be wrong on the 60s. I'm right on the 400 million though. I think it was more. I
He's
think it was
cash poor,
440
that's for
million.
sure.
Yeah. You know, the only thing that saved him twice from being completely bankrupt to this day was one, The Apprentice, the TV show, and two, he was bailed out by Russians. They came in, they rented a bunch of floors within his building in New York and just never lived there. They just paid him billions of dollars to over years, over like a.
Says he
10-year
received
period,
a
it does
$1
an
million
ownership.
loan from his father.
It's 400 million.
Yeah, it was 400 million. It wasn't a loan. It was inherited. It's what he inherited from his dad when he died.
Well, if that's
Well-
all the nonsense you have for us today, then you may go.
Now, adjusted for inflation, he received. So yeah, he turned 400 million into 6 billion, but he received that over time. It wasn't all at once. And so
How much has
I'd
he
say-
lost?
Bro, he hasn't lost anything. He's the total.
Anything?
Bro, if you look at net worth, then yeah, he has gained over close to 6
How much has he
billion.
lost? Because I could argue that he would be richer. Or could be richer.
Always be richer. Every businessman could have made a decision or made a bad decision, or they lost something. Nobody wins every single thing they do.
How much
The
has he
guy-
lost?
Overall net worth, he hasn't lost anything. If he received 400 million and now he has 6 billion, he
Net
has
worth
gained.
is not what you have in the bank. Not how much you actually have. It's an estimate, oftentimes wildly incorrect. Have you ever looked up your net worth? I have. At some point, they pegged me at having $300,000.
Damn, dude. Let me get 100.
I wish I had that much.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents of all time, and that's
Okay,
just my
well,
belief.
all right. It's not even an argument, but no.
It is an argument.
Most
because he-
scholars don't look fondly on presidents that pay off porn stars, have 34 felonies, engaged in RICO, overthrowing of elections, and wanting to instill themselves in third terms. But I don't know. Go off, I guess.
It wasn't the suave kind. Hey, man, do you think Jeffrey Epstein was guilty?
Guilty? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Do you believe the kids that testified against him and put him in prison?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I like to look into things myself. I haven't
Well,
really.
we know that you said that Jeffrey Epstein was guilty. So if you think he's guilty, then you would have to believe the victims who testified against him, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Depends. I mean, some people I'm sure want to throw their name in the hat to see if they can get paid.
Sure.
That's
You think
just
a lot of
human nature.
13-year-olds? You think a lot of 13-year-olds were making things up about Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, maybe 23-year-olds who say they were 13 years old at the time.
No. We have records of 13-year-olds saying things, testifying against Jeffrey Epstein. We know those testimonies put Jeffrey Epstein in prison to further the case, right? Like they testified, they said, "Hey, there's enough evidence here. You're gonna do some time right now until we can get to your court case." So these testimonies put Jeffrey Epstein in prison, waiting for his court case.
All right.
I believe those kids, don't you?
Probably. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe a lot of stuff until I see it for myself.
You would have to see a 13-year-old get abused for you to believe
What,
it, or
13
would you just
Do
believe the
13-year-olds
13?
not
Easy
make
because
shit
of
up?
the
Do
comments.
13-year-olds not
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
lie? The kids don't lie.
Why would they
ever?
lie about abuse?
You just said
Yeah.
that the kid didn't.
Why would anybody lie about anything? People lie all
You
the
just
time
said
about crazy
you just
shit.
said that the kid didn't.
I don't know what the kid said, so it's like I
Well,
said.
we know that some children, they testified against Epstein, and it put him in jail, waiting his trial. We know that happened.
Do you see how far
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole you have to take yourself to defend Trump?
Yeah, this is weird. Because I know you smell the trap that's coming, and that's why you're backing out so hard. But yeah, man.
Why do you have to
those
set
kids,
traps? I don't understand what you mean.
Because I wanted to set up, hey, this is happening before you just completely deny that Donald Trump was also testified against by that same child that put Jeffrey Epstein in prison. Testified against Donald Trump. as
He was
well.
in jail until
So
they could
here's
do
the
a
thing.
trial.
Here's the thing, and here's where you start backpedaling. Because
No,
now
I'm
that
not
you
correcting
know,
you because he
now
wasn't
that
in
you
prison.
know, now that you know, Katie Johnson also testified against Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, now you're going to start denying that Katie Johnson, the 13-year-old child, was being truthful.
I have no idea. Is there any evidence?
Yeah, her testimony.
Okay, well, people lie all the time.
You see how you're having to split that now? So now, hold on, is Jeffrey
It's not
Epstein?
splitting
So
it.
then
You don't
why
think
couldn't,
people
hold
can
on, so
lie?
why wouldn't Jeffrey Epstein, this is the child lying about Jeffrey Epstein too?
I don't care about that case. Like, it's not
I know
why.
you don't care about it because it completely contradicts what you're saying.
What am I saying that it contradicts?
Well, you're talking about, this child is truthworthy when it comes to Epstein, but not when it comes to Trump. It's called ad hoc rationalization, in case you're confused.
What I said is that I don't care about this case and all.
Right, it doesn't
of that.
matter whether or not you care about it. I know that you don't care about that happening to a child. That's clear.
Yeah, that's
But you don't
not.
really have. You don't have an argument. You don't have an argument. So you're just trying to find any way you can out of this trap.
So just to, like, this isn't for you. This is more for the 900 other people in here who heard you just say those things, which is fucking wild. You can actually find this at either mypalmbeachclerk.com and just search up Jeffrey Epstein, the court case, describing all of this, specifically what Trump did, his involvement within this. You can find that there, or you can find it at trumpfile.org. Those either one of those websites will have the court cases.
Go read through trumpfile.org.
Transcripts. Yeah.
Go read through
the
Trumpfile.
transcripts, man.
Trumpfile's got some wild stuff. Talks about his involvement with the mob, his involvement with the KGB, his wife's potential involvement with the KGB.
Thanks for the gift, y'all.
Yeah, I
Appreciate
mean,
you guys.
this is all like speculation, in my opinion.
It's not speculation,
No,
it's sourced.
It's literally a primary source.
The Epstein thing isn't?
I haven't looked into it. Like, I'm not a juror. I'm
You know
talking
for sure
about
that he
like,
did it, though, right?
I'm talking about policies.
I know
that
he's
are
not a
affecting,
juror,
like,
but I'm willing to bet he was
China.
I'm willing to bet you were sitting here
Like-
saying that Kilmar Garcia is MS-13 member, right?
Or the Bidens are criminal enterprise?
Yeah.
Well, that E. Jean Carroll is, he wasn't guilty for that.
I like that he's taking citizens and putting them first, and people who came into this country illegally.
Citizens
taking
first.
them the hell out.
Right,
Kilmar
so like
Garcia
trans
was
veterans,
here.
right?
Kilmar Garcia
about
was
the
here
disabled?
legally. What about the cuts they're making across the board? Does that help Americans?
What cuts?
The cuts from Doge, remember? The ones that he's claiming
Yeah.
that he's making?
It's making
Those are
things more
helping
efficient.
Americans.
He's putting waste, fraud, and abuse.
What has
Making
gotten better
things-
as a result of those cuts?
Yeah, if you would.
Have the wait times on the VA hotline improved?
The VA satisfaction rate went from 55% at the start of Trump's term to 80% at the end.
Bullshit.
Do you have a citation? I don't believe that at all.
Yeah,
Not
from
for a
the
minute.
VA's website.
From the same VA ran
provide that?
by. Yeah, what's the source on that?
Bro, just Google like the VA confidence rate for veterans from 2016 to 2020. It went from 55% to 80% because of Trump.
I just want to point out that confidence does not mean better care. Where is this? I don't see anything.
What'd you Google?
I literally
Let me
put
look.
in Trump confidence. I put in veterans. I can put in VA.
Yeah, put in confidence, VA veterans. 2016.
Just 2 in 10 confident Trump can lower costs in first year.
In 2016, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs launched Veteran Signals survey to measure veteran trust and overall experience with VA services. Initially, the survey indicated that veteran trust in VA was at 55%. Since then, trust scores have significantly increased, reaching an all-time high of 80.4%.
When did
What are
it
you reading
reach
off of?
80.4? 80.4%. By the way, you said 2016. When did you say 80.4? When did that come about?
2024.
So under Biden.
Who's president there?
Yeah, but it stayed around the same since 2020.
Wait, so it stayed around the same as in the initial number?
No,
When did it improve? When did it spike?
it spiked during Trump.
What are you
Can you
looking
show
at
us?
right now?
Yeah, one second.
Right, what metric?
It's like desperately trying for anything.
I'm not desperately trying for you guys are the ones
What's
desperately
the
trying.
I'm
username?
just asking you.
I'm not desperately doing anything. You're over here like confidence rate. Why don't you go with quality of care ranking?
That is pretty synonymous
go
with
with
how
self-
they view their quality of care, especially when he
depends.
passed 2 legislations that helped the VA, like
passed
being able
one.
to choose their own private doctor.
That's not true. That was passed under Obama. That's
No, that was
passed under
passed under
Obama.
Trump.
And the one that was passed under Trump, no, it wasn't. That was passed under Obama. The Veterans Choice Act, so Obama passed the Mission Act, the Veterans Choice Act, which was Trump passed the Mission, the Veterans Choice Act was before. Is that right? I can't remember. One of them was before. The one that Trump signed into office was already in committee before he took office.
So, I'm reading the article. The surge in veteran trust coincides with the implementation of the Bipartisan Pact Act signed by law and by President Biden as a part of the Unity Agenda for the nation, which has allowed VA to expand VA healthcare benefits to millions of veterans. VA conducted the most aggressive outreach campaigns in history. Yeah, man, this is because of Biden, Mark.
Hey, check this out.
Is because of Mark, concede that this is because of Biden. This is because of the Pact Act.
No, I'm talking about the veteran trust in the VA healthcare rises to 90% in 2020.
Yeah, if you read further down about it's quite a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 paragraphs down, it says, this surge in veteran trust coincides with the implementation of a bipartisan Pact Act signed into law by President Biden. It literally tells it and relates it back to this surge. I'm sorry. Are you in a sock all of a sudden? What the fuck just happened?
I just showed you the source from 2020. Biden was not president yet.
Okay,
please
I'm
don't
showing
worry,
you
I
the
just wanna
I'm
point
showing
out-
you the source from May 28, 2024.
Veterans Trust, and I don't know how you say this about Trump in this current presidency, because this only goes up to quarter. Okay, it does go up to quarter one. It actually went down.
I mean,
It actually went
started
down.
at 55%.
It actually
At the
went
start of
down
the
under
term.
Biden. So Biden had higher numbers.
Yeah, it was a trend that Trump exploded. So don't give me that.
Yeah, it was a
when you-
trend that was 80.4, 80.2, 80.2, 79.1 under Trump.
No,
When it
started
comes
at
to trends and MAGA logic, why doesn't that apply with Obama?
This is it right here. Veteran trust in VA has increased 25% since 2016, reaches all-time high. What date is that right there? Can you see that?
Yeah, but that trust
May
was done in
24th.
2020.
May
It got a little bit
24th.
higher under Biden.
Cool.
But
May
this
24th.
was the trend and reached all-time highs under Trump.
Cool. May 24th, 2024. Or May
Higher than
28th,
Biden.
2024. Trump wasn't in office
But-
right now. This survey came out in 2024, man, and it directly says that it's because of the Pact Act that Biden signed.
And listen,
Like,
this wasn't even a part of his original argument, which was that things improved now since these reforms, since the cuts that Doge has initiated. So if you can show us something that would indicate that the VA has improved now, that services for veterans have improved despite the litany of cuts, by all means make that argument, because Doge didn't exist during the previous term.
Wait, say that again.
I have a point.
Your argument was that things have improved since Doge's significant cuts, okay? But you're pointing to a stat from the previous term where Doge didn't exist.
I didn't say anything's improved since Doge.
I asked
said-
you. That was how we got on this conversation. I asked you
I
point
said
blank.
that
What
Trump
has
improved
improved?
the VA from his
Right.
first term.
What has improved? No, that was not a part of your original argument. I asked you point blank, what has improved since the significant cuts that he has made through Doge?
Well, the cuts are still going on, and you still
What's
have to
gotten
see.
better?
They are
I
cutting
can
waste
tell you
throughout
what's
the use,
gotten
so
worse with
it's
the
an
VA.
economic output of being able to cut funds and reduce deficits.
Right. As GDP goes down.
I can tell you
We'll
what
see.
he's done to hurt
Okay.
the veterans. I can give you specific examples of what he's done to hurt veterans.
Well, there's a lot of evidence to show that he helped veterans, so I don't know.
What evidence? I mean, I find it interesting that you're pointing to a period in
The
time. I
VA
don't know if you
Mission
remember
Act, the
this, but
VA
there was a
Act,
major. I don't know if you
Accountability
remember
Act, the
this, but
legislation that
during
he did.
really quick, I don't know if you remember this, but during the Obama administration, there were major reforms that were made to the VA, in part because of McCain. McCain and Sanders worked on them. So there was already reforms in the work. So you're giving Trump credit for stuff that he did not do at all. Number one.
He oversaw and signed them into law. I think that's an important
Signed
part.
what into law? He signed one thing into
And-
law that had to do with an expansion of
He
care
signed
that was
two.
already in
He
the
had the
works.
VA Mission Act
No,
and
he
the VA
didn't.
Accountability Act.
The VA Accountability Act.
Yes.
Okay. What year?
I think that one was his first year, 2017 maybe. I think there might be another word in there.
Yeah, I think this was in response to the Walter Reed Attorney General report or Inspector General report, which happened under the Biden or the Trump or the Obama administration.
Yeah, because under Obama there was like wait lists, and there was just really bad inefficiency and like
Right. So these
terrible
were already being worked on. These were already being worked on prior. Because of the issues that happened, there was a big scandalous story that happened with Walter Reed Medical Center.
Yes. And
Right.
he made it so that employees could get fired easier for misconduct instead of be on and have all the
He
same
didn't do
privileges.
any of that. He signed a bill that hit his desk the first few months he was in office. He did not he did not promote. He did not And here's the thing. It's so
just
crazy to
saying
me the
that.
stuff that you give. It's so crazy to me the stuff that you will give Trump credit for, but then not say that he's screwing up on. It's so crazy
You're
to me.
exactly the opposite. That's all you want to do is criticize things and never give him credit for things that
No,
he
it's
did
not
right.
true. That's not true. Because if you had asked me, and I've said this a million times on the live, when we're talking about Biden and the PACT Act, Biden pushed for the PACT Act after the Republicans blocked it, despite the Democrats for signing the Inflation Reduction Bill. I don't know if you remember that, but they screwed veterans because Democrats gave money to infrastructure. I don't know if you remember that whole fiasco, but that's what they did. Biden does not deserve credit for the PACT Act because he was not the person that was pushing and working on it until it became a political issue for the Republicans. So he doesn't
He also
deserve credit
doesn't-
for that. There are things that he does deserve credit for. The PACT Act, not one. Like,
Yes.
obviously, him and Bowen, he had influence to that degree, but most of that work was done by representatives and not him, even though he was pretty instrumental in helping push it forward. Why? Because
Yes.
of Bo. Because of Bo. So he wanted that done, right?
Right.
But it was most of that work was done by other people. And you could give him more credit for the PACT Act because of that, because of Bo, because he wanted that done, than you could for Trump for any of these things, because these things were already in the work. The fact is the Mission Act was identified as being a problem, the provisions in that, where people were having an issue going out of network or going out of, because they were supposed to go to their nearest center, which for a lot of people, they don't have services there. So it created a problem that needed to be fixed. But you giving Trump credit for this stuff and then saying that this has to do with Trump, but also Biden having higher numbers doesn't have to do with him is crazy.
I didn't say that the higher numbers of Biden didn't have anything to do with him. I said, but it was a trend that started with Trump.
So what did Trump do?
He got these bills passed, like whether he worked on them or not, like he still is presided over the head of the executive branch.
It's
who signed
not
the bill.
just these. So these two things address certain things, but it did not address the institutional problems within Walter Reed, within the medical system for the VA. That was done internally. That was done. I think there was other reforms, by the way. I think there was a new budget bill that was passed in like 2014 or 2015 addressing the VA and working to fix their problems. But
Sure.
what is he doing that's good? Because right now they're cutting off procurement cards. So people are having to pay with their own money to get stuff for veterans.
What he's doing is good. Like I said, my main.
How is that good? How is it good to cut off procurement cards for VA staff?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that he
Well,
presided
I
over
am.
it and signed. I told you what my two main issues and why I support Trump is his decoupling from China and his strong stance on immigration. Like those, you could tell me everything else. Those two things are the most important things to me, and that's why I support him. Even though I don't necessarily think he's the best at everything, or he's
Okay, why should we care about immigration?
because a country without borders isn't a country.
I don't know what that means. Why should I care about
means,
immigration? What's the negative consequences? We didn't have borders when Europeans first came here, and we're the most powerful country on earth. So that's kind of weird. That doesn't look like your argument works. So why should we care about immigration?
Because this type of immigration is unprecedented and these people being unchecked and unverified.
I'm asking the negative consequences. What's the negative consequences? Why should I care?
It's like a it's too
It's a simple
much.
question.
No, I hear you. I'm trying to explain this to you that like we have like a culture of Americans that you need to come here and like assimilate and learn English.
Why?
Man,
Why do they need to
I was hoping
assimilate?
you were
Why?
gonna go with that one.
Go with
cultural
what?
assimilate.
That most countries believe in having strong borders and having you.
Okay, well,
have
we're
the
not.
same
You're
values
now
of
you're
the
saying.
country
Hold on,
that
it's
you're
crazy
trying
to me. They're
immigrate
saying
to.
we're different from everyone else, and we're unique in that way. But also, we need to be more like other countries that are
Yes.
oppressive. So I'm
American
asking you what.
exceptionalism, but also not.
Right.
I'm
What
talking
am,
about
what am I?
even countries like Germany and Spain.
Why am I supposed?
Like,
Germany took on more Syrian refugees than any other country in the world.
we
2.5
take in the most
million.
immigrants than anybody.
No, we don't. They took in 2.5 million. We don't take in the most immigrants. Back to
I
my
need to see
original
that.
point. Can you tell me what the negative consequences of immigrants coming here? Because if I thought that, like Mexican food or, Latin food is fantastic and that I love to speak Spanish, then obviously your argument's not a negative to me. So why should I care? I don't give a shit that people have to come here. I don't want to learn Southern culture. And to say that I have to go there and then practice Southern culture would be insane. It's a free country. So what's the negative side? And it's not like we haven't had assimilation into our country as a multiracial country for some time now, especially when it comes to migrants.
All right. Well, we have immigration laws for a reason.
I am
and
not
we-
asking you. That's an appeal to legality. I'm asking you for what the negative is. Why should I care?
because they're driving blue wage workers wages down by accepting.
But you
less
don't
than-
support raising the minimum wage, so that argument doesn't work for you either. You can't
the
say
minimum
that you
wage
don't
doesn't
support.
matter if they're
You
getting
can't
paid under
support.
the table.
It does
d-
if
I-
you
it
think
would-
it's devaluing their labor.
Right, it does if you think it's driving down labor.
No, because if you put a minimum wage higher, they're still just going to accept cash under the table that's less than the minimum
Then wouldn't
wage.
it make sense? Then wouldn't it make sense to bring people in here and allow workers permits? But you guys don't want to do that. Republicans don't want to do that. You guys are
People
not
are
for raising the
coming in
minimum
with
wage.
worker
So don't
permits all the
don't
time.
hold on, no. You don't get to posture yourself like you care about living wage, but then not advocate for one. You're just using that as a defense mechanism for not having an argument about why migration is bad.
But a living wage, it shouldn't be federally mandated because cost of living is so different from place to place in
You
America.
can federally mandate on aerial wages. I don't know why you think that we do that already with congressional budget allocations. We budget based off of necessity, based off of how much it's going to cost in that area. Grant writers write it in all the time.
That's what states legislations are for. Like that's the whole idea of
No,
states'
that's
rights
federal.
and-
That's federal legislation. Federal grant writers, they take into consideration the cost of living, the cost of wages in those particular areas when they're allocating money. But I'm asking you a simple question you can't answer because there isn't an answer that makes any sense, which is why is
What?
immigration bad? Immigration helps our country.
Illegal immigration is always bad. You should.
Why?
You should have to. You
Why is it
should-
always bad?
Because you need to be able to check and verify people are coming to your country so they aren't criminals and murderers and
Okay.
psychopaths.
Did you do that with the
So-
guy that just recently pew-pewed up a school in Florida?
I
Was he ever
just
checked?
Yeah, can I just point this out really quick because this is
What about
important.
him?
Your president is inviting criminal migrants to the White House for press briefings and photo ops.
Okay.
And you're going to sit here and say that it's a problem that migrants are coming across the border that might in fact have a criminal records or be criminal.
No,
I
they
don't
do.
know anyone that walks. I don't know if anyone walking down the street is a serial killer. I couldn't tell you. And we're not sitting there checking papers, even though by statistics, people here are
They're more
far
violent.
more likely to they're far more likely to commit violent crime, twice as likely.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's
is
right.
true.
And I can pull up the data
No.
for you.
You can pull up
No,
one
that's right.
study.
I can pull up the data.
It's not one
No,
study.
it's not one study. It's
cross-reference.
every study.
Yeah, because you guys don't know how to analyze the study.
How are we misanalyzing?
Can you tell me what is a pause? What's a confounder?
I don't know.
Exactly.
review?
Stop talking.
That's when you ask me a question I don't know. I'm confounded. Mark, I can't believe you'd say something like that, not knowing how to read a fucking study.
I mean, this is the This is the Cato Institute. In Texas, illegal immigrants and legal immigrants are much less likely than native-born Americans to be convicted or arrested for homicide or other crimes. Here's another. Is that? It's not showing me the study anymore. Wait, is it showing me the study? I swear. I think the DOJ. They removed it off the DOJ. Holy shit.
Of course.
They fucking removed it off the DOJ. That's crazy. I've read this study a fucking dozen times. That's crazy.
Well, somebody's got to have it. Cato, somebody's got to have it.
I think that Cato referenced it, but the fact that they removed it off the NIJ is nuts.
Not really.
Is anybody surprised? No.
Nope.
No.
I'm trying
Sorry.
to find
You
mine
understand what's going on,
from
Mark?
1870 to 2020.
I understand completely. You guys are misanalyzing these studies.
Okay, can you provide a counter study,
Can you
please?
find? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and find a counter study for us?
Well, no, it's just common sense.
That's not a study then.
I
How do you
don't-
assess that that's true?
Fuck, they just like start off every single study
I
with.
said
So it's common
analyzing
sense.
the-
You're saying that we're misanalyzing it. Explain to us how we should analyze it better.
Okay.
Please.
No, I am. Don't worry.
Okay.
So, that's talking about the average crime rate of native-born citizens being higher than illegal immigrants. But the average crime rate is skewed because it's so inflated by the people who are living in the inner city cities with high crime rates, the dense areas. It's called the crime concentration theory, where 5% of the addresses, 5% of the
problem
addresses.
here.
What, you don't like?
So I'm gonna go
facts?
ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right here because this is painfully bad. I don't know if you know what my background is, but it's in criminal justice. And I spent an inordinate amount of time reading a lot of the stupid shit that you're referencing. And the answer to that is red states are more violent. Blue cities in red states are more violent. Red cities are more violent. Red cities happen to be more sparse. They happen to be more spread out, usually requiring less people. So when you actually go ahead and remove by like less than 50,000 people, those red areas are significantly more violent. Significantly more violent. And we see this across pretty much every single survey and study that we can assess. In California, red counties are far more likely to have more crime. They're more likely to have more gun crime, more schmug crime. The list goes on. When you go to red states, they make up, I think it's even now 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 1 of the most violent states. When you go to small cities and you look at which cities under 50,000 are the most violent, all of them are red states. All of them are red cities. Every single one.
What
In
are
fact,
you trying
in fact,
to?
Louisiana
I'm
holds
confused what
three of
point
the
you're making
cities
here.
under. Louisiana holds 3 of the cities under 50,000 with the most violent crime.
What is your point? Is my what's
Well, my
how does
point
that confute
is
what
that
I've
you're trying to make a confounder and say, well, it actually has to do with democratic areas. And that's why
no
it's skewed, because you're trying to compare immigrants to MAGA,
no
as though MAGA doesn't
you
commit
didn't let
more
me
crime,
finish,
which
so
guess
you
what
don't
they
even know what my
do?
argument is.
Okay.
You
All
don't
right,
even know
let's
which
hear it.
study we're referencing.
He has
No,
no
because
idea.
no, I haven't
Do you know what?
actually. Okay.
This will tell me everything I
Let
need to
me
know.
finish
Do you
what
know
I
what
was
per
trying
cap?
to say.
Just a question. This is going to tell me
'Cause
everything
I
I need
wasn't
to know.
making it about
gonna say.
Democrats and Republicans.
Do you know what
Okay.
per capita is?
Yes,
What is per capita?
it's per 100,000 people.
Okay. I mean, it's close enough. We'll see if you understand in a second. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that you say you are an expert in criminal justice. Do you know what the crime concentration theory
Not an
is?
expert. Not an expert. But no, I have not heard this bunk ass theory from some right wing commentator.
No, there's been several studies and theories about it, but over
Is this the
50%
broken window theory?
over 50% of violent crimes usually happen at about 5% of addresses and street addresses in the United States, which means they're all
That
like densely
coincides.
packed. They're all
No,
densely
that's not what that
packed
means. No. 5 to 7% of people are the ones that are going to be largely criminals in a vacuum. 5 to
Yes.
7%. That may fluctuate based on stressors, but 5 to 7%. But you saying
Yes.
that 5 to 7% is only located in urban areas, in inner cities, is bad shit. That's talking about
Okay.
disbursement across
What
the
I'm
United
saying
States.
is when that study is the biggest point I'm trying to make here is that by saying that the illegal immigrants are less likely to commit crime, it's because that crime number you use for Native Americans is skewed by the 5 to 7% of people who are constantly committing the crimes over and over and over again.
It would
It's
be the
not
same. It would be the
median American
But
citizen,
you're
'cause
missing
most
though.
people-
You're missing though because that 5 to 7% also includes migrants. It is across all populations. It is biological as far as we know in humans that somewhere between 5 and 7% of the population will be in large part the troublemakers. That will fluctuate based off of stressors and environmental factors and other things. But when you're saying it's skewed because of inner cities with lots of people that have like 5 to 7% are most likely to commit crime, that also is true of migrants. It's actually less so true. Because if migrants are coming to the United States, they're less likely to be involved in organized crime. They're less likely to be involved in that and are just genuinely looking for a better life. Because if you are a migrant that is coming out of Mexico and you are a bad person, guess what? You can make a lot of money working for the cartels. So your argument doesn't make sense here because that would be a confounder. The type of people that are migrating to the United States.
I mean, I don't see how what you're saying.
Your
refutes what
theory
I'm
does
saying.
not and cannot disprove our study. Because when you're saying 5 to 7%, when you said 5, it's 5 to 7. But when you're
Yeah.
talking about that percentage, that's across all populations.
The median
So
American
you're
does
basically
not
so
commit
you're
any crime.
basically
what I'm
saying
saying.
What?
that we're only comparing it. And by the way, to make this argument, you would have to admit that Americans are more violent, which is fucking crazy. Like that's the only way that your argument would make sense. But you're saying that we're comparing a group of people that are, the 5 to 7%. That 5 to 7% that you're saying is inner cities, whatever, is dispersed across the United States, but that's also dispersed across the migrant population. So you can't say, because you're trying to say migrants are coming here, and the reason that they're not is because there's more crime in America, which is fucking crazy that you're not seeing that you're saying that.
No, it's densely pocketed in certain areas.
But you
Is
would
where-
have to admit the only way that the numbers would change, right, is if America was not more violent. You're trying to
you
say
cut out-
if we remove,
if
you're
you
trying to
cut
say
out
if we
those
remove
5%
this
of street
section, yeah, I know,
addresses-
you're trying to say if we remove 5% of criminals, then you also must remove it for migrants.
Sure. If you
Right,
are
which
willing to come
would
across the
offset.
border, hey, if you're willing to come across the border and break immigration laws, you're probably more likely to commit other crimes as well. Like, because there's a
I
legal
watch
process
Republicans
to come
admit to
over here.
crimes all the time. I literally just watched a video of a Republican saying he wasn't filing taxes again this year. And I watched the comment section as they all said that. So, like, if you're breaking into the Capitol or you uphold breaking into the Capitol, I guess that means you're more likely to commit more crime. And
there's other things like undocumented migrants are less likely to report crimes because out of fear of being deported. Like there's multiple things going on there that are nuanced.
right, but that's
and you
also
can't say without a
true.
doubt.
I agree with you, but that's not. So the instances in which that's not true would be migrant on migrant crime, right? Because if you're talking about migrants committing crimes on Americans, they're absolutely going to report that. So that's not a confounder that would affect that much.
Wait, are you advocating for sanctuary cities now?
Ironically, yes.
How am I doing that?
It's a weird twist.
If you guys want to support
Well,
this absolute beatdown, there's a Venmo Cash App in the bio. Jaden has his in there as well. And also you guys can support by sending corgis so that we can get this out on the For You page, get some more people in here.
Shake your corgi butt. Yeah, man. Like if you recognize the fact that immigrants, when they come to this country, they're afraid to do simple things like report a crime or even call an ambulance in a medical emergency out of fear
they're
of
here
being deported. Hold on. You understand the importance of sanctuary cities.
Really quick, I'm going to stay live. I'm going to let Josh and Jaden handle this. I'll be right back. I've got to go do some stuff. I was going to end it at 4. I'm just going to let it run for a little bit while I get stuff ready, and then we will we'll end the live at that point.
All right.
But that way you guys can keep debating. But if you want to support the channel, Venmo, Cash App in the bio. We are crowdfunded here. So if you guys don't support, then Soros doesn't pay us. So would appreciate it.
True socialism.
If I was in a place where I came in illegally and I wasn't supposed to be there, I wasn't welcome, like I wouldn't want to talk to the police either or report any crimes. I would try to stay under the radar as much as possible. So it makes sense.
But you're arguing that they commit more crimes. Now it's changed to their reporting practices.
My argument is they probably commit about the same amount of crimes.
So they don't. Can you provide any sort of quantifiable metric that would suggest and would support your argument, please? It's never been quieter here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it off the top of my head, but
this is the American
wrong.
Immigration Council.
I don't see it that way. Because
I know you don't.
The nuance that you guys aren't considering is that the median American
this accounts for that
crime.
nuance. These studies that we have, including a 150-year survey, accounts for these nuances. In fact, some of the reporting mechanisms come out of more conservative states, districts, such as Texas, relying on things like the 2020 study Proceedings in National Academy of Sciences with Texas's Department of Public Safety, found that undocumented immigrants had lower felony arrest rates than legal immigrants and native-born citizens. U.S.-born citizens were 2 times more likely to be arrested for violent crimes, 2.5 for DRUG crimes, 4 times more likely for property crimes. So even within this flaw that you keep highlighting, this theory, which is just a theory, it still accounts for those biases, still accounts for those mechanisms that you say are flawed.
It doesn't mean the methodology is on point. There's studies that say lots of different things.
How about this? We'll look at the studies together, okay? And you can tell us where the methodology was flawed.
Well, how does it account for people who are undocumented who don't call the police when they are abused by their wife?
You're suggesting that they're actually committing a crime. I mean, you could say that about U.S.-born citizens and the crimes that don't get reported.
Yeah, but they don't.
I'd say even more so. I would say even more so that the crimes are higher.
They don't have the same incentive to not call the police out of fear of being deported. That's the difference. There's going to be
That's a conjectured argument. This is speculatory.
But it's not that speculatory. Like there is going to be a sizable population that has that fear that American citizens would not fear. Like victims.
Then why don't these studies account for that? Why don't they account for the possibility? But they can't because it's not measurable. How do you measure that?
There's not always a way to measure it, but you have to realize that studies that say the opposite aren't taking that into account, and that there's more factors to consider.
Then why isn't that the case with U.S. born reporting? Like, say, murder rates or what have you. Shouldn't they account for all of those that don't report? They don't, because how do you measure that? How do you even estimate that? How do you determine any such factor?
That don't report, well, this is a specific reason as to why they don't report, and it's a very logical one why they don't report. It's because they don't want to be deported.
Okay,
so
U.S. born
what-
people don't want to be arrested. How would you be able to account for those people that don't report?
I'm
And how
talking
would you
about
say that that
victims.
extends to their crime
If you're a
habits?
victim, you don't have fear to be arrested usually.
All right, this
But
is called
if you're a
conjecture, my
victim
friend.
in like an assault case, and you're an undocumented migrant, like a girl, like you're not going to want to call the police because that's going to ruin your
Okay,
family.
and if somebody has a relative that did a crime against them, they may not want to report that too.
Yeah.
As a citizen, how can you account for missing data?
Because they're not going to be fearful of being sent out of the country. Like there's a different standard here, and it's
Yeah,
not
there's a different
you're not
standard
going to
for
be able to
you.
measure it, and it's not going to be exact. But that is something to take into consideration with these studies that you have to take with salt.
Yeah, you're not recognizing the fact that you acknowledge that people are afraid to report, but you won't acknowledge that people are afraid to even commit crimes out of fear of being deported. It's the same thing, man. That's why the crime rate is actually lower, is because they're afraid of being deported. You're like, no, there's these crimes that are happening that nobody knows about, and we have to believe that for your argument to make sense.
I mean, it just makes sense.
No, it doesn't. It literally
I mean,
doesn't. We would see
I don't
statistics on.
see
We
how
would see
people can
in
argue
then
so
increase.
provide a
hard.
stat, please.
Yeah.
That shows in
we
any
don't
kind of
understand why
crime
people
category,
fight so
migrants
hard
are exacerbating the toll.
undocumented migrants to just flood our borders. Like,
Okay,
why
you
do
made a
guys
claim that they commit more crime or at a higher rate than U.S. citizens. Is there anything you can
Mm.
point to? We'll do it together. I'll hold your hand.
No, I don't. I didn't say higher. I said
Or
unless
equal,
otherwise
right, or
shown
equal.
with, like real evidence, like they probably commit the
Okay,
same.
that is your argument. It's not a probably. If you're so sure about this, then let's do this together.
Do what together?
Look at what the studies
Walk
show.
this road.
Well, the studies show that more Americans than not don't ever commit crime.
Okay,
Like,
that's
the
not the fucking
median-
argument, dumbass. That's not the fucking
Oh,
argument. Of
fucking
course, more people don't commit crimes. Fuck. Is this difficult for you?
Well, the median crime rate, the average person.
We aren't
when you're
talking about who
the
doesn't
median-
commit crimes. We're talking about who's more likely in a given demographic. U.S. citizens or migrants. The answer categorically across all crime categories is U.S. citizens.
All right. Well, like I said, I don't believe in the methodology.
You haven't given
Mark,
us a reason as to why.
There's no reason.
I told you the reason why.
It's not a valid
no way those
critique
things
for the
can
reasons that
account
we
for
have
the
enumerated
immigrants
for
that
you
don't
today.
report.
For reasons we
also-
have enumerated for you today, that is highly conjectured argument to make.
Mark, you would agree that under Joe Biden, millions of illegal immigrants came into this country, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And your assumption is that they're coming in here and committing crimes, correct?
Well, the more important thing is that they are
It's a
driving
yes or no.
wages down. Some
Okay.
of them. yeah,
Your
he-
argument was
some of
that
them
they're
are
committing
murderers.
crimes, right? So then by your argument, more immigrants coming into this country who are criminals, our crime statistics on a national level would be spiking, correct? Because there's so many illegal immigrants coming in here, the crime rates must be going up.
No, not all of them are criminals, but the fact that
Jesus fuck.
the murderers can't. The amount of
So
murderers
then, if
that
they're
came into this
murderer,
country illegally
okay,
would
then
spike
if
by
they're
1,000%.
unaliving, okay, if they're unaliving people, then our unaliving rates should be skyrocketing, right?
Not necessarily.
Why not? We have a bunch of unalivers coming into this country and committing crimes. So our crime rates and our unalive rates must be skyrocketing.
Yeah, but crime technology is rising.
Oh, so are there unalivers coming into this country or not, Mark?
Yeah, there is. There's 1,000%
Oh.
more under Biden than
Cool.
Trump.
Cool. Then we should see the unaliving rate spike then, correct?
Not necessarily.
Why not,
What?
Mark?
Why?
Holy fudging popsicles.
And couldn't I just as easily say that migrants don't report on crimes that were committed by U.S. citizens?
It could be migrants too.
Could be citizens too.
Yeah,
More
it could
likely
be
than
anything.
not, it is a citizen that assaults, that rapes, that robs a migrant.
It is a fact that murderers came into this country under Biden way more than under Trump. That's the
No, they
whole
didn't.
idea.
Murderers?
Yes.
How do you quantify
Yes.
that? How do you quantify that?
People with past convictions
had
for
previous-
murder or
okay.
manslaughter.
Can you give us the numbers?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you're
All right.
gonna have to show me that one.
Okay. I mean, one extra murder is too many, but I mean,
Right.
Wait.
Ask Molly Tibbetts.
yeah.
You don't know who that is.
How many unalivings were caused by immigrants in 2014 or 2024? Sorry.
I don't know. I just know how many murderers came into this country.
How many? I asked you.
About 100.
About
You said
100 based on
thousands.
what, please? You said right, but based on what?
Based on the Customs and Border Patrol website.
Where can I find this?
I'm about to find it right now.
Louisiana tea is better.
It's true.
Especially blended for iced tea.
While we wait, I am doing a shit ton of traveling in the current week and a half. So if you guys would like to support the show, there's a Venmo Cash App in my bio. I'm going to Vegas first and then Arizona after that, and then right the fuck back to bed once I get back home. It's going to be hot. It's going to be tiresome. I got a lot to do, okay? I'm not in Texas right now, sitting on the outskirts of a Charlie Kirk event, but I'm here. I'll be traveling this week.
You would have been so pissed if you would have went to that, man.
Oh, I know. It doesn't look very fun.
Nah.
I hope they're having fun. It's just, I'm not an outdoor person. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You find it yet?
Find it?
Not yet.
It should be pretty easy.
You gonna be in my neck of the
No,
woods?
the
or you gonna be up
CBP website's a little.
It's Phoenix.
north?
It won't tell you how many murderers were let in.
No, it does say. I looked at it
That's
just
a
the
really
other
odd
day.
statistic. I've never seen that.
Well, I
agree.
have. I'll show you. That way I can teach you guys something.
We're waiting.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
All right. Anyways, everybody go see Sinners, movie of the year. On par with Get Out. Very good movie. I enjoyed it. It was very good. Very scary.
I don't know. The only thing I'm finding is Joe Biden commuted the 37
AJC.
death sentences.
AJC, appreciate the 5 gifted over on YouTube. Appreciate it, AJC. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for AJC? Pretty good.
Did Biden let in 13 million migrant murderers? That's the
I didn't say 13 million migrant
You
murderers.
said about
Or
100,
13
right?
13,000, sorry.
I don't know why he's trying to
13,000, my
argue
bad.
with stats.
I said,
like,
yeah,
what are you
about
trying to
100
argue?
murders. 100. 100.
So, listen, if these
Well-
studies are all wrong, why not conduct your own and submit it for peer review?
Well, we're talking about the murderers right now. So I don't
Right,
know.
but you could just
Yeah,
say
no, this
common
was a
sense at
claim-
the beginning. And
This was a claim by Trump.
Here we go. I think I found it. Yep, I found it.
I'm sorry,
I got-
Donald Trump, by the way, Donald Trump just pardoned 1,500 actual criminals, by the way, convicted.
Can you give me the big screen so I can show you? All right.
I swear to God, if you pull your pecker out, fucking.
No, I'm not like that.
All right. Total criminal convictions by type. The criminal aliens by type of criminal conduct. You go to homicide, manslaughter.
We can't see you.
Where are you at?
On the CBP website.
What's the name of it?
Are you?
DDP
I'm
got
sorry. Are you
article?
comparing this per capita?
No, this is how many got let in. Here's homicide,
So this is
manslaughter.
not.
Website,
This is
please?
not per capita. This is not per capita.
I didn't say per capita.
What did you search?
You should.
It would need to be per capita.
I went onto the cbp.gov website.
Okay, under what?
Right, but it needs to be per capita.
It doesn't need to be per capita. It's under.
It does need to be per
home-
capita.
If you're talking
yeah, it
about
does
a
need to be per
rate-
capita.
That's volume. You're arguing rate. Rate,
Hold on.
excuse me.
It's here. You go to newsroom, and then you go to stats and summaries, and then you go to CBP enforcement statistics.
Right, but it's not a rate. It's not a rate, so it doesn't matter.
It does matter. This is how many people with homicide and murder convictions have been let into the country. This is
It's not a
it does-
rate. It's not a rate, though.
What do you mean it's not a rate?
So you have to have a rate to compare it, right? Because you said, well, this amount of people committed a crime, right? If I was looking at the rate, I would then say, okay, well, there's 200 comparable crimes by American citizens. It's actually more.
I'm showing you how many people with murder convictions got put in, under Biden and under Trump. And they're
Hell,
vastly
arguably that would
different.
mean that they went down.
No, it
Okay,
wasn't.
if fewer
Trump.
people, but if
Trump
fewer
years,
people entered
three,
under Trump,
three,
if
two,
fewer people entered,
three.
right?
Under Biden, 60, 62 murderers, 29 murders, 29 murders.
Okay,
compared
out of
to
how many?
Three.
Out of how
two,
many?
Two.
Right.
You have to
if
look
there
at
are
out of
fewer
how many.
people, if that's 2 out of 200,000, okay, versus 100 out of what?
It doesn't
13
matter.
million?
He let in
That is a
200
smaller rate.
200 murderers compared
It
to
does
11.
matter.
You
It
want
does
200 more
matter.
murderers in this country?
It does matter. I don't
Yeah,
want
of
any more
course it
MAGA in this country.
This is
You
insane.
have to
That's not
compare
what
the
he's
rate,
rating.
my guy.
You guys are saying it doesn't matter that there's 200
not what
murderers.
You have to. We're not saying it
It wasn't
doesn't
two
matter.
people.
Here's the problem. Your suggestion to solve that, as though it's a real problem, is to deport people that didn't commit crimes. And if I was to say that everybody is a criminal in
They committed
MAGA
a
and
crime.
therefore needs to be deported, if I was to say they would be deported because of January 6th, you'd probably have a problem with that. So you
Yeah, 'cause they're
literally, this is the
citizens.
problem that I have. You're talking about
Why are you gonna deport a
millions of
citizen?
people. Just stop for a second. You're talking about millions of people pointing to something Biden or no other president has any control over. And then you're saying that because of the acts of 100 people or 200 people, therefore that we can go ahead and take that and apply it to the rest of the population is fucking racist. Super
you-
racist.
Not racist.
Super
What do you
racist.
mean the president doesn't
You're
have
taking.
any
Why are you
power?
applying?
Trump
I'm
is
sorry. Why are
proving
you
that the
applying?
president does
Why are
have
you applying
power.
what would be 0.00001% of the population and applying it to the population at large?
I think a lot of people would agree they don't want 200 extra murderers wandering the
That's
streets.
not what I said.
So,
That's
don't
not
care
what
if
I
it's
said.
0.001%
Why are you applying it to the?
or not.
Why are you applying it
This
to the
is- this is
9
why
million
like
people that
Bacon
aren't?
Riley
Why
getting
are you
slaughtered.
applying that? Stop steamrolling the conversation. The only people getting slaughtered are fucking people of MAGA, like spouses of MAGA. Can you tell me why is it okay that you apply what 100 or 200 people have done and you apply that to the entirety of the population? Because if I
Because
was to
it's
point to a
Trump-
white person and said they committed a crime and therefore the entire population is a problem, you would have a problem with that.
No, because Trump is showing that it doesn't have to
Okay,
be that
well,
way. There
yeah,
doesn't
well,
have to be
cool. How
200
many
extra
school shooters?
murderers
Cool.
in the country.
How many
Can I
mass
say
shooters?
something real
Okay,
quick,
yeah.
please?
well, So I say we should get MAGA out. How many mass shooters are right wing?
I don't know. There's plenty of left wing too.
Almost all of them. Almost all of them. The guy at
No.
FSU the other day wearing a MAGA hat. Almost all of
Who
them.
cares?
Oh, fun fact. You want to look at the stats on terroristic crime in the United States? Guess what? Right-wing crime. Right-wing extremism is the preeminent extremism. 60+% of all extremist violence in this country is committed by right-wingers. More so than religious. You know who the smallest demographic in that is? Left wing. So could I not then go ahead and say we have a terrorist problem in the right wing?
Nope. These
Okay,
are illegal
well then you don't have,
citizens
you just
that are
have a double
crossing in
standard.
illegally.
Yep, I'm sure.
Okay.
Then you just aren't consistent. And I don't know if I can talk to you.
All right.
Katie
I would
wanted
let
to talk
Katie
about
up,
it. She-
but I'm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She
I'll
made
let
the
Katie
point
up to read that, but
that was
I gotta
sentencing.
go after that.
That list refers to dates that they were sentenced, not when they were entered.
Yeah, it's not.
Hey,
even that.
Agent
He-
Chartreuse,
he-
appreciate the
he-
5 gifted.
Never
Can we
mind.
get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Agent Chartreuse? Go ahead, Tic Tac.
He's reading his
wasn't
report
understanding-
wrong.
Yeah, he was reading his report wrong. He was literally reading the homicide and manslaughter rates but he's not understanding that this literally includes like DUIs. If you unalive somebody in a car accident, that's also included, and it was 29.
Yeah, but he's also reading it wrong because he's reading it by convictions by year, not when they entered. So in theory, and if you go by this list, Biden convicted more people. They didn't enter at that time. He just prosecuted more.
They could have came in the 1980s. He was reading the. He was reading the.
It
table
goes by
wrong.
convictions, not when they entered.
And that's a confounder.
I was trying to throw that in.
Katie,
I was trying to be
appreciate
like, hey, he's reading this wrong after
me
talking
too.
shit to us, but gee, Merry Christmas. That was wild.
They're
Anyway,
always
guys,
reading
you guys
it
have a good
wrong.
day. I'm gonna
All right,
I'm gonna bounce
I'm gonna head out.
The kid just got home, so you guys
Alrighty.
take care. Be safe.
I'm gonna head out.
Should I go live?
Tomorrow. Yeah, if Jaden wants to go live. Tomorrow I will
Let's
be
do it.
live. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a morning live yet because I have to set up my entire portable setup. But we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go live yet in the morning. It might take me some time to set up OBS on the other computer. But yeah, Jaden's going live. Everybody head over to Jaden's. I got to get out of here, and I will see you guys on the next one. And make sure you guys are following me over on YouTube, because if I do incidental live where I just don't want to be very serious, it's going to be over on YouTube. So go into the link tree in the bio, News Dude. Go follow me over there. You guys can watch the morning lives. They're public, or you can watch the night lives with the membership, Tier 2, on YouTube or Patreon. And it's a great way to support and keep the channel going. Especially when Trump's fucking with TikTok. So I will see you guys on the next one. Everyone take care.